baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
This is Astros pregame presented by Toyota. Friday in the Queen City was a night the Astros really needed. A 10-0 win to open the series against the Reds, led by Mike Burrow's 7 shutout innings and some big swings up and down the lineup. It was Houston's first win at Great American Ballpark since the 2012 season, and now the Astros look to Spencer Arrighetti to keep it rolling this afternoon in Cincy. Here's what we have on tap for you. This Saturday afternoon, Christian Vazquez has been a veteran presence in the Astros clubhouse. We chat about his season thus far. We also take another look at Zach DeZenzo's home run last night in his home state of Ohio. And we talk about the new check swing challenge that is being tested in the minors. We welcome you into the SCHN studio. Lauren Callender here alongside Brian Bogusevic. Last night was just a great night overall. A solid performance by Mike Burrows, production up and down the lineup. It was just kind of a game this team really needed.
You couldn't have scripted it any better going into the game. The Astros got everything they needed from a great starting pitching performance, which led to a solid bullpen performance. It was offense early, it was offense late. It was the kind of game where everybody leaves the field feeling happy, and it's the perfect way to start a road trip, start a series, and the perfect way to get off on the right foot for 13 in a row.
Well, now, as we head into this afternoon, unfortunately, we have some more injury news as the Astros announced today that Bennett Sousa was placed on the 15-day IL due to left elbow inflammation. In a corresponding move, Jaden Murray has been recalled from AAA. Sugarland, unfortunately, poking another day, another Astros pitching injury.
They just can't shake this injury bug, and even as the season goes on and we think we're getting to the point to where we're adding guys, getting healthy from the injured list, guys keep ending up back on the injured list, and Bennett Sousa, he worked his way back from the oblique injury that he had in spring training. It was a little bit of up and down performance-wise since he's been here, but he was a guy who's certainly going to factor into the back of the bullpen and leverage innings, and you lose him. And this is kind of the fear when you have a pitcher with a non-throwing arm injury as they work their way back, and it's an interrupted and kind of a choppy throwing program. Do you then put them at risk of suffering an arm injury, and he ends up with a sore elbow?
Well, looking forward today at today's pitching matchup, starting pitching matchup. Let's check out our pitchers in our Tuckerius Arundis delivery of the game. Chase Burns is on the bump for Cincinnati. He's coming off of maybe the best start of his young career, allowing just 3 hits and 1 walk and striking out 7 across 7 shutout innings on May 3rd. So what can we expect to see from Chase Burns?
Big time stuff from Chase Burns. In 2024, he was the #2 overall pick, and he's got the repertoire that gets you picked at the top of the draft. It's a fastball that's going to be 97, 98 miles an hour. He probably will touch triple digits at some point. He's got a very hard, very sharp slider. It's got a 50% swing and miss rate. It's one of the best swing and miss in-zone pitches that there is in baseball. So big stuff, but it's still pretty raw from Chase Burns. It's a lot of let me reach back and try to throw it past you. So some pitches end up in the middle of the zone. Now it's coming in there 100 miles an hour, but you might get yourself a pitch to hit. You can't miss it.
All right, well, Spencer Arrighetti gets the start for Houston today. Here is what Astros manager Joe Espada had to say about what he would like to see from Spence this afternoon.
More of that curveball, first pitch strike. He's pitching ahead. He's creating swing and miss with his ability of staying ahead in the count. His stuff has been really good. He's competing, he's working fast, he's keeping his defense involved. He's being efficient. We need to continue that.
Well, heading into today, Spencer is 4-0 in his 4 starts. He's somewhat stabilized this injury hit rotation, but I think Spence has looked maybe much more confident attacking hitters, a little bit more than he did in the stretches that we saw of him in 2025.
He's looked great. He looks like he's really matured as a pitcher, and he's been exactly what the Astros needed him to be. Not only has he come in and been highly productive, but like you said, he has stabilized this rotation as much as any one pitcher can. He's averaged over 6 innings per start since he's come up. He's gotten 4 wins since he's been here. The Astros as a team have only won 9 times since he's been here. And the curveball has been great at times. It's been a pitch that when it's on, he's able to go out there and just throw it over and over again and get a ton of swings and misses. But it all starts with being in the zone. If you're going to use those off-speed pitches to get swing and miss, you've got to have a fastball that you can pitch off of. He's commanded his fastball well. And I think the most important thing with Spencer so far since he's been here, the best sign of maturity is that 2 of the starts he had his best stuff and he was going to go out there and dominate. 2 of the starts he had to just go out there and figure it out, and he did. It hasn't been all or nothing. He's gone out there and figured out ways to get outs even when he doesn't have everything working.
All right, well, let's go ahead and check out who the Reds have up against Spencer here this afternoon. Top of the order looks the same with Fido, Bluday, and De La Cruz. Stewart batting cleanup, but gets the start at third this afternoon. Nathaniel Lowe DHing, batting fifth. Spencer Steer batting sixth. He moves to the infield today at first. Will Benson bat seventh and right. Jose Trevino is behind the plate for Burns, batting eighth, and Matt McLean in the 9th spot at second. Terry Francona trying to find a lineup that works here for this Reds team, Bogey, as they've had some consistent struggles.
This team has really struggled since the calendar turned to May. They came into the month tied for the 2nd best record in all of baseball. They've lost 8 in a row since, and they're now at the bottom of the division in the NL Central. And if you want to know how bad it's gotten, Jose Trevino, catcher in the 8-hole, he's pitched 4 times in the last 10 days. That's not good.
No, not good at all. But we're going to go ahead and take our first break here on Astros pregame. When we return, we take a look back at Zach Cole and Zach DeZenzo's homers last night. We'll be right back.
Here. Toyota dealers. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
We've got some Saturday afternoon baseball. We're getting you set for Game 2 between the Astros and Reds at Great American Ballpark. Spencer Arrighetti opposite Chase Burns in today's contest. Let's take a look at who Joe Espada is going with here in Game 2. Top of the order stays the same in Altuve, Alvarez, and Freitas. Christian Walker batting 4th at first. Cam Smith batting 5th in right. Zach Cole getting the start in left this afternoon, batting 6th. Then we'll see Bryce Matthews in center, Braden Shoemaker at short, and Christian Vasquez batting 9th behind the plate. And I know, Bogey, that you really like seeing Tuve there in that leadoff spot.
I do. He's floated between leadoff and the middle of the order. Now he's back at the leadoff after the Carlos Correa injury, and it turns him back into a table setter, an on-base guy. He was on base twice yesterday, ended up scoring 2 runs, and it always helps to hit in front of Yordan Alvarez, get you some more pitches to hit.
Absolutely. Well, Zach Cole in the lineup today, earning that spot. He was recalled from AAA earlier this week, and man, he knows how to take advantage of opportunities, doesn't he? Cole homered off of Yamamoto Monday night against the Dodgers, a rocket down the right field line. And then, of course, last night we knew he entered the game and drove a 2-run homer to deep right field to extend the Astros lead. So just good stuff from the kid. I always like seeing him in the lineup.
He can make his presence felt in a hurry, and as good of production as he had in the minor leagues last year, it's really the tools that get you excited about him. He's a twitchy, explosive athlete. There's a ton of bat speed. There's a ton of power that he creates. There is a little bit of trade-off, and there's a lot of swing and miss in there, but man, he can go in there, and if he gets a hold of it, he's got great leverage in his swing. He's got really good bat speed, and very early in his career, he's got 6 home runs, 58 at-bats. So under 10 at-bats per home run. That's elite stuff. There's only 3 hitters in baseball right now that are under 10 at-bats per home run.
Yeah, so Zach Cole hits his 2nd of the season Friday night, while Zach DeZenzo decided to put on a show in front of some familiar faces in his home state, launching a 2-run shot 359 feet to right field to score Bryce Matthews, and open scoring for Houston on Friday evening. I know he was pumped to get this one in Cincinnati with a lot of maybe friends, and I know his family wasn't there, his parents weren't there yesterday, but they're coming Sunday.
It's always nice to do something in front of all the people that you're having attendance. And Zach DeZenzo, he's a big guy. He's got power to all fields, but he's much more hitter first, and the power shows up because he's so big and so strong. And a lot of times when you have a taller hitter with long levers like he has, there can be a lot of length in getting into the zone, and sometimes you're susceptible to velocity. But he does a really nice job of getting his bat into the zone quickly and then keeping it in there a long time. And when you do that with the long levers that he has, it creates power to all fields. We saw that last night with the opposite field home run.
Yeah, well, Zach met with the media following last night's game. Here's what he had to say about being back with this team.
Feels amazing. It's been a long road getting here. I think my last game in the big leagues was at the very end of May last year, so about 11 months. But I'm just grateful to be back on the field playing baseball again.
Yeah, you feel just strong. How was your rehab process getting back?
Yeah, the process was long, but it was good. Just credit to our trainers in West Palm and everywhere for helping me out with that. So things feel really good. Arm, elbow, everything's doing really well. So.
Playing in Ohio, I know you're not from Cincinnati, obviously, but you're in the vicinity. Can we say that?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have family coming, or is this a special experience for you?
Yeah, I do have some family coming. I live a little bit further from Cincy than I do from Cleveland, about 4 hours from here, probably an hour and a half from Cleveland. So I think mom and dad are coming in Sunday. And I got some aunts and uncles coming the whole weekend too, as well. Some friends from Columbus too, so it'll be nice.
What are some things that you want to work on while you're here and focus on, maybe in pregame? Are you still trying to keep up with the versatility in different positions and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to pride myself on being that versatile guy, being able to play third, first, and then both corner outfield positions. So yeah, just continuing to hone in on that, work on my craft every day, and ultimately just really happy to be playing again.
All right, it's time to check out our gallery furniture pick the stick selections for this afternoon. It was an epic fail on everyone's part last night. Nobody going with Jordan. We get the first pick today, so we're not making the same mistake. We're going with Jordan here today. TK and Sparky going with Braden Shoemake here in game 2, and Julia sticking with Isak here this afternoon.
We made our decision last night, and we're sticking with it. But, you know, Chase Burns, he's got a very good slider, very good off-speed pitch, but he also throws 100 miles an hour. So you got to be on the fastball. You got Jordan, who's killed fastballs. Isak Paredes can turn around any fastball. And the last time Braden Shoemake was in the lineup, it was against Shohei Ohtani, who has a great fastball, and he hit a homer off of him. So.
All right, we'll see. Maybe we'll get this one today, Bogey. But hey, we've got more to come on Astros pregame. When we return, we talk all things Christian Vazquez and the impact he's made on this team. We'll be right back.
Astros pregame on SCHN is brought to you by Houston Methodist, the official healthcare provider of the Houston Astros. Houston Methodist, leading medicine. And by Daly & Black. Has your home or business been denied, delayed, or underpaid by your insurance company? Call Daly & Black for your free consultation.
Astros and Reds meeting for game 2 in Cincinnati this afternoon. Stros try to keep the momentum rolling from their 10-0 win in the series opener Friday night. A win that included 4 Astros home runs, the last coming in the 8th inning as Christian Vazquez blasted a solo shot to center field in the top of the 9th, extending the Astros lead tonight. It was Christian's 3rd home run of the season. He's hit .316 with 4 doubles and 12 RBI across his 16 starts this season, Bogey, and he's been clutch for Houston with runners in scoring position. .417 average in those situations. So clearly a valuable piece to the puzzle offensively. What do you like about Christian at the plate?
Well, he's been productive in a lot of different ways. The 3 home runs, you know, he's provided a little bit of power, but the 12 RBIs and just about 65 at-bats, you extrapolate that out over the course of a full season, that's over 100 RBI pace. So that's really productive. And he does it by understanding situations, by understanding how pitchers are going to pitch him in certain situations, and just thinking along with the game. And we've seen him have times when he's completely sold out to hitting the ball the other way when it calls for it. We've seen times when he's looking to drive something and he's totally committed to getting a pitch to drive. And he just understands what pitchers are trying to do, which is not surprising since he's called pitches for so long, and just uses that information to give himself as good of a chance as he can.
Yeah, well, he's been a great addition defensively as well, especially in the wake of Yainer Diaz being placed on the IL. This is our stat leader presented by Steve Lee. Vasquez is 9-7 in his 16 starts behind the plate. He's proven to be more than just a backup catcher. He's kind of in this expanded role, and he's done really well behind the plate for this team so far.
Well, this is why the Astros felt like they needed to go out and bring Christian Vasquez in towards the end of spring training because, yes, he can be your backup catcher, but if he finds himself in an extended role, either because of injury or performance, they're comfortable with him not just producing at the plate, but also him understanding and learning the pitchers and getting on the same page with them. And by the numbers that he's shown from what the pitchers have done while he's out there, that's certainly the case.
Yeah, and he's also, I think he's tied for first in the AL with 8 catchers caught stealing. So again, another great addition to this lineup, especially again in the wake of Yainer being on the IL.
And also his ability to work with the pitching staff, specifically a lot of the young pitchers. He takes a big burden off of them because the pitchers know that he's going to be prepared. They know that he does his homework. They know that he's been through this before and can keep them on game plan. And that's very important, especially for these young pitchers, to not have to go out on the mound and be thinking and trying to get themselves into the right pitch. Just trust your catcher. When he calls something, be completely convicted in it. So much of pitching is trust and conviction. There's not always a right pitch. There's not always a perfect pitch to throw in a count or a situation. A lot of times the perfect pitch is the one that you trust and the one that you're convicted that you can go out there and execute. And when you have a catcher who you think is always going to put you in the best position, you're that much more convicted in what he's calling.
Yeah, and Christian also overturned a call last night challenging a pitch that resulted in a strike 3. So that was using the ABS system, but there's another challenge system that is being utilized in the minors here in 2026 being tested out. It's a check swing challenge system. It's being tested here this season using Hawkeye technology to determine if a swing extends 45 degrees. So last night, Sugarland's catcher Carlos Perez challenged a check swing. It was then ruled a strike. It was the 5th time this challenge has been used in the Pacific Coast League this season, the first time that it was won by Sugarland. What are your thoughts on this here system, Bogey?
Well, first of all, that is a very liberal definition of what a check swing is. You can see that 45-degree angle that they use from the back corner of the batter's box. That's where Major League Baseball has determined that they want the check swing to be called at when they're using this technology. And, you know, they have the ability to adjust that based on what they find and what the numbers and the data show. But if you want to look into the future and see what the future of Major League Baseball is, just look in the minor leagues. Yes, it's the players that are going to come up, but this is where the ABS stuff was tested out. This is where the new bases were tested out, and things that they implement down in the minor leagues, they find data, they make tweaks, they adjust. It inevitably finds its way to the big leagues.
All right, interesting stuff, Bogey. We've got our final break coming your way here on Astros pregame. When we return, we have storylines and keys to the game on what looks to be Star Wars night in Cincinnati. We'll be right back.
Game on SCHN is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Steve Lee. Car or truck accident? Call attorney Steve Lee at 713-CALL-LEE.
Well, the Astros have the opportunity to take the series from the Reds this afternoon following a big win Friday night. Spencer Arrighetti on the bump this afternoon, trying to pick up his 5th win in as many starts. Here are your storylines heading into Game 2. Astros announced today that Bennett Sousa is heading to the 15-day IL due to left elbow inflammation. Jaden Murray was recalled from AAA in a corresponding move. Again, Spencer is getting the call today. He's 4-0 in his 4 starts with a sub-2 ERA, and Yordan Alvarez smacked his 13th home run of the season last night in Game 1.
Bennett Sousa hitting the IL. That makes 15 players on the injured list for the Astros. 9 of them are pitchers, so that depth is really being tested.
All right, well, Astros manager Joe Espada met with the media this afternoon upon arrival at the ballpark. Here's what he had to say.
Bennett yesterday doing his throwing program came in, and the elbow wasn't feeling good. So we sent him home to see the doctors.
Obviously he had the elbow strain last year. Did he say whether? I mean, is there any way to know at this point if it's a similar issue, if it's related? Or...
You know what? I hope not, and I'm not sure. But we'll have more in the next day or two.
All right, Bogey, before we send things up to Cincinnati, walk us through your Toyota keys to the game.
Well, I'd like to see Spencer Arrighetti induce some ground balls. Swing and miss is the name of the game for him. That's what he does. He goes out there and gets guys to swing over the top of his breaking balls. But just to stay efficient, he's going to have to create some early contact. He's going to have to get some balls on the ground and some quick outs. He can do that with his sinker. He can do that with his changeup. And in his last outing, he got 2 big ground ball double plays that kept him out of some trouble. And these Astros hitters, nobody on the team has faced Red starter Chase Burns, so you have to learn from early at-bats. We saw throughout the course of the game. Yesterday, guys make adjustments first time, second time through. Jordan's home run came in his 3rd at-bat where he saw what the pitchers were trying to do to him and made the adjustment. Gather information, share information, and then apply it in the later at-bats.
Quickly, what's the #1 thing you want to see from Spencer today?
I'm going to see that curveball stay on the plate, either in the strike zone or below the strike zone, but within home plate.
All right, we've got game 2 between the Astros and the Reds coming your way next from Great American Ballpark. TK, Sparky, and Julia will have your call next. Thanks for joining us here on the pregame show. Bogey and I will catch you right back here at the desk postgame.
Tools. Shop in-store or online.
Made from scratch food? Check. A front row view of the game? Check. Houston's best wings? Double check. It's Big City Wings, Houston's famous wing joint, where it's
City Home Network's presentation of Houston Astros baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
On the banks of the Ohio River, it is a beautiful Saturday afternoon for baseball here in Cincinnati as the Astros get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series from the Great American Ballpark after winning last night's game in shutout fashion, 10-0. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Todd Callis alongside Steve Sparks, filling in for Jeff Blum. We'll hear from Julia Morales in just a little while. Sparky, a couple of good starts in a row for the Astros. What does that do for a team?
You know what? I mean, where the team stands right now, you just don't want to be the weak link. The starting pitchers are who's going to get the Astros out of the funk that they've been in for the first few weeks of the season. They get deeper into the ball games. The bullpen gets better. They start making series wins. They start to win ball games, and it's going to come from the starting pitchers. Arrighetti is the next man up.
So last night, our best in Texas power pitcher, driven by Ford, probably the best start as an Astro, maybe in his career, for Mike Burrows.
Talked to him earlier today. He was talking about pitching from the first base side of the rubber for the first time. I said, were you sore today when you got up? He said, much less so than I was any time this year because my mechanics were better. He stayed ahead of the count. He was the aggressor. He was the tone setter for the Astros yesterday. You win game 1 of a series, you got a better than 70% chance to win the series after that.
In the absence of Hunter Brown, these 3 have stood out their last 2 starts. Burrows back-to-back quality starts. Peter Lambert doing his thing his last time out against the Dodgers. And Spencer Arrighetti has been the Astros' most consistent guy all year long. And Arrighetti gets his 5th start of the season today.
He came into Cincinnati a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, coming off of a really hot streak. And for Spencer, 2024, it's a lesson. I talked to Joe Espada about this yesterday. What did Spencer learn about that? He said, you know what, you got to pay attention to details. Even when you think your stuff matches up very well with the team. We talk about Cincinnati Reds being the free swinging team. Spencer's got the great curveball. It seemed like a perfect match, but he didn't get out of the first inning, so that was a good lesson to learn for Spencer.
Still a career high, 9 runs allowed in that outing here last time he pitched in Great American Ballpark. During the course of today's show, we'll talk about guys who are stepping up, including one guy who has stepped up and now steps into a bigger role. That's Christian Vasquez. Also, when we come back, we'll hear from Julia Morales in just a little while, and we'll check in on another laser beam off the bat of Jordan Alvarez right around the corner. Houston Astros baseball on SCHN is presented by Whataburger, your favorite burger made hot and fresh just the way you like it. Buy Rooms to Go, get fashion, style, and quality all at low prices on every item every day. And by Daly & Black. Has your home or business been denied, delayed, or underpaid by your insurance company? Call Daly & Black for your free consultation.
The Power Play is presented by HEB. Yordan Alvarez. Of course, he's the power man. Crack. What'd you expect? 116.2 against the Cardinals. Last night, pulled one to the right side, almost 116 miles per hour, lacing that dude in the chest. Yordan Alvarez with some forearm bashing. Expect a little bit more of that throughout this series.
Yordan got help from some young guns last night. More on that with Julia Morales, the young outfielder, stepping up in game 1 of this series. We'll check in with Julia right around the corner from Cincinnati.
About to Pixent.
Welcome back. We're getting ready now for game 2 of 3 between the Astros and the Reds. The Astros looking to take a series lead here today in game 2. And some of these younger players in this Astros clubhouse, they are being counted on here recently to bring some of that youthful energy. Joe Espada said, I'm counting on you, and I also want you to be yourselves, play like yourselves, but step up, make an impact. And we saw some of those guys make an impact yesterday in our Get Out and Play presented by Toyota. Game 1 was great for the Astros for a lot of reasons, but it was great to see some of these younger outfielders who have been given an opportunity come through in a big way. We saw Zach DeZenzo with his 2-run shot, which was fun to do in his home state now that he has an opportunity back from injury. Bryce Matthews, Cam Smith, these are guys who've been having great road trips, playing great defense. And then there's Zach Cole, you just saw there. Chance late he drove one out for another home run this season too. Joe remembers some of these young guys carrying the club last year at times, so he's looking for more of that. But again, message, stay within yourself, do your job, don't try to replace anybody. And they're echoing that as well too, TK. Some of these guys played together in the minors, good chemistry there. They're no longer next man up. They are here, and they're looking to stay here for years to come.
Yeah, good to see a lot of production up and down the lineup yesterday. Astros off to a great start in this series. And here's the Astros starting lineup today, presented by Whataburger. It'll be Jose Altuve back at the top, followed by Yordan Alvarez, one of those 4 home runs yesterday. Isaac Paredes batting third, then Christian Walker in the cleanup spot. How about Zach Cole? He has hit a home run in 6 of his first 19 career games. Only Yordan Alvarez with more in his first 19. And Braden Shoemake gets the start at shortstop. The left-hand hitter will go against the righty today on the mound for Cincinnati, Chase Burns.
That's going to be the 23-year-old out of Wake Forest. Went to Wake Forest for 1 year, started his college career at the University of Tennessee, and he strikes out the world. He was the 2nd pick of the draft just 2 years ago. Only player in the Astros lineup that has seen him is Cam Smith. That was back in college when he went 1 for 2 against the Wake Forest right-hander. But he's gas. He throws a 4-seamer averaging better than 98, a slider to come off of that of about 91 miles per hour, and an occasional changeup, but it's mostly Petro. I mean, this guy throws very hard. It's max effort, so get that front foot down as early as you can.
He has been tough on opponents, especially first time through the lineup. Hitting just 125 against him this year, first time through. In that first inning, hitters are just 2 for 22 with 11 strikeouts. So he's a fast starter. Chase Burns underway with a first pitch to Jose Altuve. Altuve never shy about swinging at the first pitch of the game, and we're underway with a foul ball. What are your keys for this Astros lineup against this righty?
Well, just expect a fastball. You got to be on time for that pitch. He throws it better than 50% of the time, so take your chances, especially before 2 strikes.
Altuve lines one into right field. That's exactly what he did right there. Goes after the first 2 pitches today. Only the 3rd hit for anybody opposing Chase Burns in the first inning this year.
And that's back-to-back games now for Altuve to drive one to the opposite field. I think that's a great sign that he's coming out of it.
Our UTMD Anderson strike zone showed you that pitch was on the outside corner. Altuve just went with that pitch and served it into right center field. So Jose, who had a couple of runs scored and a double yesterday, with a base hit here to start this one. And here's Yordan Alvarez. Yordan with a foul at the plate.
When anybody asks why is the Astros offense better, it starts with Yordan, doesn't it? He only played in 48 games last year, so a healthy Yordan doing what he's done already so far this season goes a long way in how it makes everybody else so much better.
Despite Joe Espada changing up his lineup on a daily basis, 40th different lineup in 40 games, which is the most in baseball, Yordan has been a stable force in that lineup. He has started all 40 games, including today, in that 2 spot in the lineup.
He's been in the 2 spot every game, right?
Yes, he has. Different guys ahead of him and behind him, but he has been a stable force hitting second, in this case behind Altuve and in front of Isaac Paredes. Well, Burns gets ahead of Yordan 0-2, and Altuve, they check him at first. Close play, and Jose just gets back in ahead of the Spencer Steer tag.
Well, he got a late start getting back to the bag. They're thinking about looking at it.
They are going to challenge Terry Francona early in this game. Thinks they may have picked off Jose Altuve.
Challenging the safe call at first base.
David Rackley is the crew chief and also the home plate umpire today, and he announces that the Reds are challenging the safe call at first. Call was made by Adam Beck. Here's another look.
I would imagine they're pretty sure that they're going to get this call to go their way. Tag on the right hip. The only question is whether or not he got that right finger on the bag beforehand. I think he's out. What do you think?
Our matches firm Supermo said it showed it being very close, called safe. But I think Terry Francona has a pretty good idea that he's going to only challenge if they're sure he's going to be called out on the overturn.
Looks like those fingers were bent back a little bit before it got to the white corner of that bag. And I think this is probably going to go Cincinnati's way.
Here's another look frame by frame. See if you can see with the tag getting to the body before the hand gets to the bag. I do think he's out. But is there enough for New York to overturn it?
That's always the question, isn't it? Not sure why Altuve got such a late start back to the bag. He wasn't very far off of it. Maybe just 2 big steps off of first base.
Here we go. Here is David Rackley with the call from New York.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Cincinnati retains their count.
So the Reds pick off Jose Altuve for the first out of the inning. And the count's 0-2 on Yordan Alvarez.
Well, one thing we know now, and they knew it beforehand. They've got meetings beforehand. Chase Burns has a good pickoff move. He has quick feet for a big man.
That one bouncing in there. It's 1-2. A lot of strikeouts with that slider. It's not just to right-hand hitters. It's equal opportunity righties and lefties. 31 of his strikeouts on the year with the slider. Only Chris Sale has more with that pitch. As that slider is taken down, it's 2-2.
Mentioned that he went to University of Tennessee his freshman and sophomore year, but he wanted to go to that pitching lab at Wake Forest for that 3rd season.
He raves about how much he learned there in his 1 year at Wake before being the 2nd overall pick in the draft.
I think he picked up a couple of miles per hour on his velocity, but the slider is what really got better.
How about Yordan? Down to the count 0-2, and he's like, you got to throw me a strike still. I'm not going to leave the zone. That is walk number 23 on the year for Yordan against 21 strikeouts as he trots down to first.
So they're going to make Chase Burns show him that he's going to be in the strike zone before they strike. Paredes is the king of that.
Here is Isaac. Saw a lot of pitches last night in what turned out to be his 600th game of his career. Isaac becoming the 14th player in Major League history born in Mexico to play in 600 or more Major League games. First pitch strike. And now Paredes down in the count like Alvarez 0-2.
One of the things that pitchers have learned through the last few years is you can kind of recoil and get even a little more velocity. You'll see Chase Burns do it after he throws a pitch. That arm kind of comes back. That's from a violent motion. I don't know how easy that is on your shoulder, but it works for him.
Long hold to try and get Paredes out of his rhythm, and now the 0-2 pitch is off the plate. 1-2. Firm fastball coming in at 99.
Got to the major leagues very quickly. Just drafted 2 years ago. Same draft that Cam Smith came out of Florida State. They faced each other. And Cam got him for a base hit up the middle, he told me today. In 2 tries. Cincinnati had a lot of players to choose from in that draft, and picking a pitcher number 2 is pretty risky sometimes.
on the ground, slowly hit right side. McLean will flip it to De La Cruz, and they turn it in time to get Isaac Paredes for the double play. Just how the first inning ended yesterday for the Astros after an initial hit. We head to the bottom of the first. Spencer Arrighetti on the mound. Here's a Cincinnati Reds lineup for Terry Francona. 4 lefties and a switch hitter. TJ Friedl off to a slow start, hitting just 188 on the season. But he does have a home run in his only at bat against Arrighetti. Also Nathaniel Lowe in there as a DH today, and you see the rest of the lineup facing Spencer.
Spencer Arrighetti with one of the best curveballs in baseball. The numbers bear it out. And he's confident in that pitch that he can throw it to just about anybody, anywhere in the strike zone, and have good results.
Friedl actually doubled against Arrighetti in that one at bat. Here's a line drive caught by Christian Walker. 1 pitch and 1 out. Already a better start for Spencer today.
There they are, 4-0 and 4 starts so far this year. The walk to strikeout ratio, I mean, the strikeouts are great. Walks a little high for Spencer. If he can clean that up and limit the free passes, he's in for a great season.
J.J. Bleday takes one off the plate.
Learned a lesson last time he pitched in Cincinnati, coming into that game against Cincinnati, figuring that his stuff matched up very well with a lot of free swingers in their lineup, but it didn't go well at all.
Didn't get out of the first. Bleday obviously wasn't on the Reds that night or that afternoon, as he just joined the Reds this year and made his debut on April 26th. But Arrighetti versus Bleday has not been a good matchup for Spencer. Nobody has more hits against him in his career than J.J. Bleday with 6. Conversely, J.J. has more hits against Spencer than any other pitcher he has faced in his career.
One thing Spencer wants to do, and he said this, I want to throw every pitch with conviction. If it's a curveball on every single pitch to a certain batter, I don't care. I want to have conviction that that pitch is going to be a good pitch against a certain hitter.
That ball golfed to right field. Cam Smith in the sunshine, drifting towards the line, putting it away for the second out.
And Todd, he tries to get a feel for his fastball like this. If he has a good feel for the top shelf fastball, that upper tier, that rail right at the top of the strike zone, he'll use that fastball more, like the Yankees game. Remember that?
Yep.
He used a lot of it, and he'd tunnel his curveball off of that. But if he doesn't, he's going to stay with spin for the most of the time.
Spencer with 2 quick outs here, facing Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie taking a fastball off the plate for ball 1.
De La Cruz typically sees a lot of spin from a lot of pitchers around the league, even if theirs isn't as good as Spencer's.
Spencer was coming off American League Rookie of the Month in August of 2024, riding high when he came into Cincinnati. And Ellie De La Cruz had 2 base hits against him in the first inning, as Spencer faced 11 batters and only retired 2 before leaving the game. So he has probably been looking forward to this outing in Cincinnati for a couple of years after what turned out to be the worst start of his career.
These pitches called by Vasquez, all fastballs so far to De La Cruz. And I think some of that has to do with, all right, if Arrighetti is going to face these hitters for the Cincinnati Reds 3 times, I want to save that curveball for maybe the second and third at bat when runners might be on base.
Now De La Cruz with a 3-1 count, and he fouls one back. How about the Astros starting defense presented by Xfinity? Back behind the plate is Christian Vasquez. Astros are 9-7 when Vasquez starts behind the dish. It's Paredes and Braden Shoemaker getting the start on the left side of the infield. Altuve and Walker right side, and your outfield today has Zach Colin left facing the right-hander Burns. Bryce Matthews and Cam Smith in center and right. Well, full count pitch coming from Spencer to De La Cruz, and he gets him. Spencer, who has 19 of his 25 strikeouts with the curveball, 1-2-3 first, and a much better start here in Cincy.
Yellowwood is bringing the lumber, and so is the Astros offense. Look at this. More 10-hit games than anybody else on the road this season. The Astros by 3 over the Dodgers, including Todd the last 7 in a row. 10 or more hits on the road.
A 3-3 road trip to Baltimore and Boston, but had 10 hits or more in all those games, and then had another outbreak yesterday, especially late in that game, as they picked up 7 hits in the 9th inning and ended up with 13 for the game. Today the task might be a little more difficult against this hard-throwing right-hander Chase Burns. Christian Walker, the first one to face him here in the 2nd inning. Burns coming off his longest outing not only of the season but in his young big league career, as he went 7 innings against the Pirates on the road. Just 3 hits allowed, shutout baseball in his last start.
Christian Walker certainly has a better chance of catching up to velocity like this season compared to last year, where velocity really wrecked him. His swing was longer, but he worked so hard on staying top of the ball. He's more direct to the ball with the path of his bat, and he can catch up to 99, 100.
This one hit to third with some top spin, played on the second short hop by Sal Stewart, who's over on the other side of the corner today. He was at first base yesterday and playing third base today. Now Cam Smith, the batter.
Cam knows what to look for. He's faced this pitcher in college. A couple of first rounders 2 years ago.
On the ground again, Sal Stewart, this time 2 easier hops, and he makes the play on the move to get Cam. So just 3 pitches in and a couple of outs for Chase Burns.
Well, new this season, Astros fans can stream Space City Home Network directly with SCHN Plus. Log in to SCHNplus.com to purchase the app directly. Already have Space City Home Network through a participating cable, satellite, or streaming provider, or you can download the app to access the content at no additional cost.
Here's Zach Cole, who came into last night's game defensively in left field and then ended up hitting a home run in his only at bat in the 9th inning. Hit one out against Tony Santillan and picked up his 2nd home run of the season and number 6 of his career in his first 19 games. I mentioned last night, Zach has some family in town watching the series in Cincinnati.
8.5 hours away from Springfield, Missouri. His parents drove for Mother's Day weekend to see their baby.
Got a 2-1 count here. Bases cleared with 2 outs. Hits the ball hard but foul into the crowd here. And the count's even at 2.
That tells a pitcher something. That fastball in the inner third, that may have even been a ball off the plate. He was able to pull that ball and get the barrel to it. Kind of jolts a pitcher like Burns, thinking, oh, wow, he's on it.
And he hits this ball into right field. That'll be down for a hit. Heading towards the line is Benson. Cole heading to second. And the throw from Benson will not be in time. Zach Cole with a double. And the Astros have a 2-out base runner in scoring position.
That went 100 miles per hour. Zach Cole's able to turn on it. So it tells you velocity is not really going to affect Zach. We've seen home runs for Zach Cole off of Logan Gilbert, off of Shane Boz, off of Jack Leiter, guys who really throw hard. So big reason why he's in the lineup today.
This game, first 5 batters paralleling yesterday's game. The Astros had a hit in the first inning yesterday and ended the inning with a double play. And then yesterday it was 2 outs and nobody on when Bryce Matthews tripled to start a 2-out rally. That was followed up by a Zach DeZenzo home run. Well, today it's a 2-out bases empty double by Zach Cole to set the stage for Bryce Matthews. Now Bryce quickly in the hole, 0-2.
It's that slider, 91 mile per hour slider. Just tough to imagine that guys can differentiate and pick up the spin that quickly on pitches that are so firm.
Burns has struck out almost half of his batters first time through the lineup this season, but today he has gone 6 batters in, allowed 2 hits and a walk without a K to this point. And he's got a 1-2 count here on Bryce Slowly hit off the mound. Playing it is Matt McLean, the second baseman, in time to get Matthews, and the Astros scoreless in the second. One hit, one left on base. Time to take a look at today's Chevy Stroll. We're talking about Reds history here. That's the Reds Hall of Fame. Which member of the Big Red Machine is that team's greatest player? You've got three choices. A, Johnny Bench. B, former Astro and Cincinnati Red legend Joe Morgan. Or C, Pete Rose. Go to @SpaceCityHN. Use the hashtag Stroll. We'll have results as to which of the Cincinnati Big Red Machine stands out amongst those three.
It's a pretty tough question.
Very tough question.
The hit king, or the best catcher of all time, or the best second baseman of all time?
And they were stacked and a dominant team in the 70s, the Big Red Machine, for years. Sal Stewart leads off here in the second inning. You been over to that Hall of Fame?
I haven't.
It's a really cool.
I would love to. I love the tradition that Cincinnati has with baseball. Of course, a charter member of the National League.
For years and years, and now it's kind of changed a little bit, but they were always the first team to start opening day. This one's fouled at the plate. It's 1-2 to Sal Stewart.
They've had a lot of great players, 12 MVPs in their franchise history. That says a lot. You know how many Cy Young Award winners? And this franchise started before 1900. Cy Young Award winners, 1.
Really?
Yeah, that was in the pandemic season. Trevor Bauer.
How about that?
Can you believe that?
That is crazy, because they've had some good arms come through here.
Oh, yeah.
Mario Soto, Don Gullett.
Right.
Tom Browning. Just to name a few.
Mm-hmm.
1 Cy Young.
Last time they've had a home run champion, and I thought this was interesting because of the dimensions of this ballpark.
Right.
But the last time they had a home run champion was 1978, George Foster.
Okay.
He did it in back-to-back years in 77 and 78. That's the last time they've had a home run champ.
1-2 the count on Stewart as Sal pops a foul out of play. This is a guy that's going to bid for National League Rookie of the Year. He's off to a hot start. He's played in every game for the Reds and has 10 home runs and 30 runs batted in. He was Rookie of the Month in the National League for March and April, now facing Arrighetti for the first time. And he hits it sharply but foul.
He saw a lot of curveballs from Mike Burrows yesterday, and we know Spencer will throw a lot of them. But Burrows threw one yesterday that was elevated, and Stewart made an adjustment, almost hit a home run right center field. So you still have to make a good pitch with it.
He got him. Got him with the fastball as Spencer picks up his second strikeout. Stewart down for the first out of the second inning.
Well, there it is. You talk about tunneling pitches. You throw the curveball, curveball, curveball. Let's go to the upper rail, and it's just a little bit higher than what would have been a strike call. And you get the big whiff from Sal Stewart, who screams knowing that he went for a bad one.
Pitch home is a strike to Nathaniel Lowe, DHing today. Lowe's only played 2 games at first base for the Reds. The rest of the time he has been the DH, including the first 2 games of this series. Pops that one foul, now to play, and Spencer gets ahead 0-2.
I'm a huge fan of Christian Vasquez and the game he calls. Like even making Spencer throw more fastballs that he's probably wanting to early in this game. But he's showing these Reds hitters that it's not going to be all secondary stuff.
On the ground to second, Jose Altuve waits for it. Lowe retired for the second out.
What's the scouting report, right? I mean, all these Reds hitters coming into this game thinking about curveballs, sweepers, change-ups, and they've seen a lot of fastballs already.
Calling all Houston area bars and restaurants, join the Astros Social Club to receive Astros branded swag to share with your patrons and become a proud partner watch spot. Learn more at astros.com/social club. By the way, we're going to hear from Mike Burrows in the next half inning. He's going to join us on headset from the Astros dugout, coming off his career best start, 7 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball in a ballpark that lends itself to a lot of offense here in Cincinnati.
Well, he he commanded the strike zone. He stayed ahead of the count, and I'm sure he'll talk about that.
That's popped up. Spencer Arrighetti points it out, and Christian Vasquez has found it, and he puts it away for another 1-2-3 inning for Spencer. Great start for Arrighetti, coming off that start he had a couple of years ago here in Cincy. Back in Cincinnati, we're scoreless heading to the third inning, joined by yesterday's starting pitcher Mike Burrows, who went a career-high 7 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. First of all, Mike, congratulations. How good did it feel out there? You were limiting damage, getting leadoff hitters consistently. How did everything feel out there on that mound?
Yeah, everything felt great. I mean, you said it, limiting damage and rolling through innings, getting quick outs, and yeah, just rolling through it.
Mike, you changed sides of the rubber. You went from the third base side to the first base side of the rubber. Take us what you went through to change sides of the rubber to line up with home plate.
Yeah, I think it was just an angle of attack thing that was going on, and moving over to the first base side just kind of helped out with a lot of my misses, still being competitive with them, and yeah, I think last night was a step in the right direction.
Does any of that have anything to do with your arm being lined up with home plate, making your changeup look like a strike more often?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the spins helped out from third base, but going back to the first base side just allowed the changeup to be as good as it was last year. So yeah, I mean, direction and just arm, yeah, like you were saying, like being overplayed a little bit more, it's helping with the miss.
So when you go through the scouting report and you're working with Christian Vasquez last night, are you guys talking about, hey, I'm gonna make this adjustment, I'm gonna go off the first base side? Because I would imagine that changes the look for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knew, just because of the work that I've been putting in through the week. But yeah, I mean, it didn't really change. It didn't really change how we attacked. It was just it helped my stuff play a little bit better. So more of a me thing than it had to do with really him. The report was as normal.
How much has Spencer talked with you about what you did and what you may have seen with some of these Reds hitters last night?
Yeah, we talked about it today a little bit. Yeah, just kind of letting him know what I saw. But I think his best advice would probably come from Vasquez.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked a bit.
So you're a guy who is pretty stoic out there, not a lot of emotion, but a clenched fist, almost a fist pump after the fourth and after the seventh. Those had to be two big mile markers for you. Number one, the fourth. Let's start with that, because you had an occasion where one inning was one that was getting away. They flared one to the left to get the bases loaded. You worked around bases loaded, one out. Was that kind of the key for you the whole night, that inning?
Yeah, I think it was poetic, just going out there and kind of having some of those hits come together again. And of course, they happened after the one leadoff walk, and yeah, just kind of saying to myself, I'm not going to let it happen again, and bear down, make pitches, and get out of it.
And then the one after the seventh, you had never been in the seventh before, gotten through the seventh. Was that a big milestone for you to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, first one in the big leagues. To be fair, I wasn't really allowed to last year, so they're giving me the opportunity to stretch here, and yeah, I mean, I had a good pitch count going through the sixth, and they let me go back out for the seventh.
Mike, a lot of the Astros fans have a great affinity for Brent Strom and what he did for their organization. You worked with him last year with Pittsburgh. What did he help you with?
He helped me with a lot. I mean, the mental side of things, just talking through at bats. What guys' swings look like, how you want to pitch guys with a swing that kind of lines up that way. And a big part of it was my direction as well. I used to kind of step out of the box towards first base a lot. So, yeah, I think, he helped me with a lot, and I kind of went more extreme that way. And that's why I'm trying to, bumper myself back right now. But, yeah, Strom helped me out a lot last year.
I remember you told me at spring training, too, Mike, that by dropping your arm just a little bit as far as your release point, you felt like you could change speeds a little better. You felt like you had a better feel, a more natural ability to change speeds. You still feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, dropping in comparison to beginning of last year, because I was very over the top. So, I mean, really just coming down to a little more natural three-quarter. Yeah, I mean, that's where I was. I mean, growing up, I didn't have a pitching coach, so I guess just kind of got to that point through pro ball, and had to, get myself kind of back to a more natural spot.
This ball in the corner, and it's a foul ball caught by Will Benson in that corner. Great play by the Reds right fielder. Mike Burrows, thank you for the time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
That's Mike Burrows. We're going to head to the bottom of the third in a scoreless game.
Magnifico. Try our full Magnifico lineup at Marco's.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Spin to win if you're Spencer Arrighetti. Look at that. How many times is that? Rotate coming into home plate underneath all of these swings. One of the best curveballs of baseball. You can look at the numbers. Whip percentage, that's really high, 56% for Spencer. And it's the same grip, same curveball that he was throwing at 12 years old. Hold your ears, Little League coaches.
First pitch home to Will Benson, who made a nice play to end the top half of the third inning. Takes a strike 0-1 as he drops in the curveball. Good to hear from Mike Burrows. We don't get a chance to hear from him all that often. A new pitcher in the Astros system, and obviously a key piece of that rotation coming over in that trade from the Pirates. I liked when you asked him about Spencer and he comparing notes, because that happens a lot more than people realize. There's so much information out there, but there's nothing like talking about the previous night's pitcher, about the lineup you're about to face.
Right, and a pitcher can see a hitter. He can read swings from time to time. He can see a guy that's kind of leaning out over the plate where you know, all right, if he's leaning or stepping across toward home plate, you know you can get him inside. So there's a hole in there. And we've talked about Arrighetti staying away from the obvious things you want to do to get hitters out, maybe saving it for just the right time. So Christian Vasquez takes care of a lot of that. I mean, he's a very experienced, smart catcher. He's forcing Arrighetti to throw more fastballs than he typically does, but that's going to open things up the second time through the order for his best pitch.
Here's the 2-2 pitch from Spencer to Will Benson as he fouls one away. And you had mentioned last night about the adjustment he made on the first base side of the rubber, and he pretty much mirrored your thoughts about why that was effective for him, right?
You know, I felt like his stride became too far across his body when he was on the third base side, and that was dropping his arm just a little bit. I mean, it was flattening out his fastball. His changeup wasn't getting the depth to it he normally does. So by going to the first base side, lining up your arm with home plate, I felt like everything was more in tune with what we saw in spring training.
And it seems like a small adjustment, but that's a tough adjustment in season, right?
It is for some people, and for some it's not. For him, it was probably the easiest way for him to make that adjustment. Just switch to the other side of the rubber. That's not a real difficult thing, I don't think.
Spencer allowing his first walk. If there's one area that Spencer would love to clean up here in his first 4 starts, it's been the number of walks, 14 in his first 4.
As Mike Burrows walked one batter yesterday, and was to lead off the 4th inning, and that was his laborious inning. So we'll see how this shapes up.
Here's Jose Trevino, catcher, a lot of years in Texas and New York before joining the Reds last year. Bunts, and it's going to be played by Vasquez. He'll make the play to Christian Walker at first. Into second base goes Will Benson with a head first slide on the sacrifice bunt.
How about getting out of your crouch and making an off-balance throw? He didn't have a whole lot of time. It was a pretty good bunt by Trevino. Not many catchers get out of their crouch this quickly. Push the ball down to the ground to get a good grip, and there it is. Inside part of the bag, so it doesn't mess with Walker's ability to catch that baseball. That's the thing. Whenever a ball's almost stopped, you got to push it into the ground. That way you don't lift up too quickly and get a mishandle.
You see Spencer was kind of taken off guard. He was not anticipating the possibility of a bunt. A good play by Vasquez, and there's a strike to Matt McLain, 0-1. McLain in his 3rd year with the Reds, hitting a .204. Last night batted 8th, now in the 9 spot with Brian Hayes getting the day off. That one's off the plate, 1-1.
Terry Francona was asked earlier today, you know, your team's lost 8 in a row. They're not playing well. They were in first place 8 days ago. Now they're in last place. What do you do? They said, well, you don't kick trash cans. You don't change the lineup. You stay as consistent as you can, because that's what I want out of my players.
This ball skied to left. Zach Cole looks into the sunshine, has the shades on. Tagging at second is Benson, but it's just a bluff. That'll be out number 2 on the fly ball to left.
I think players appreciate that more than anything. Hey, things will turn around by preparing the right way. That's how you get confidence. When you're confident in the way you prepare, that'll usually carry out into the ball games.
There are not many managers through the years who have been as galvanizing with a front office, with a team, with a broadcast crew as Terry Francona is wherever he has gone.
Yeah, that's just it's a natural ability, isn't it?
He's a people person, and he just brings everybody together and makes everybody feel like they're pulling from the same rope and pulling in the same direction. And he's just, it's remarkable what he has done in 4 different stops in his career.
Yeah, that's why he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, right?
Absolutely. The Reds were thrilled to have an opportunity, and I know health considerations are part of the reason why he's no longer in Cleveland, but the Reds were thrilled that he decided to stay in state and move across to Cincinnati last year.
Watch Christian Vasquez here. He's going to meet Spencer Arrighetti on the mound because Spencer was racing to first base to cover the bag, and now Spencer said, hey, I'm okay, I'll take my time. But you want to make sure with the runner in scoring position, no score in this ball game yet, you're able to catch your breath before a next important pitch. Vasquez, one of the best at that. It's a very smart move.
Is Christian wearing the Mother's Day gear today because he knows it's unlikely he'll play 3 games in a row tomorrow?
I bet he is. That's a tribute to his mom, right?
Yeah.
Good for him.
So now an 0-2 count on T.J. Friedel, leadoff hitter. He lined to Walker his first time up, and now swing and a miss. Foul tip caught by Vasquez. Spencer Arrighetti rolling through 3 innings. No hits allowed so far. A scoreless game.
Looks like a foul.
The Silver Boot Series presented by the Texas Lottery returns to Dyken Park next weekend. Visit astros.com/promotions to get your tickets today. ATK, to tack onto your Tito story.
Yeah.
Zach DeZenzo grew up, closer to Cleveland, a Guardians fan, was obviously a big fan of Tito managing the club there, was able to meet him during BP today, and they chatted for a while. Tito asking where he was from, wanted to know about his hometown. He had time with him, and it meant so much to Zach. He came back to the dugout just wanting to tell someone about it. I just met Tito, a really big deal for him. So very cool for Zach DeZenzo, who is such a fan of the game.
I love it. That's awesome. I love that Terry takes time and doesn't just say, hey, nice to meet you, and go about his business. He wants to know about the guy. Great story. Hey, by the way, Julia's about to go try a local delicacy, I'm hearing. Is
Julia?
I'm going to go pick it up. But yeah, I'm going to try it.
What is it?
I'm going to bring it back to my little spot.
Do you know what it is? Or is that a secret?
I don't think it's a secret.
All right, what is it?
Geta.
Okay. Go get some.
What?
Go get some Geta.
Get a stomach ache.
Oh, there's it. We're showing it to the home viewers here, Julia. It's a local dish.
Local dish, yeah.
How about get a new plate of food?
Come on. Let her try it first. Don't.
Right.
That looks burnt. Good
You
luck,
are
Julia.
not making friends in Cincinnati, Sparky. She's tried Grater's ice cream. She's tried.
Oh, that's a tough one.
We've tried Skyline Chili. 3-2 pitch to Yordan is up. That's the second walk to Yordan Alvarez. So now today, Julia hasn't been back here for 4 years. So today she tries some Geta. So we'll check in with Julia later on and see how she likes it. Yordan, a leadoff base runner for the Astros here in the 4th.
Wash it down, Julia.
So the only 2 walks allowed by Chase Burns when facing the big man, Yordan Alvarez. Burns walked only 1 in each of his last 2 starts. Isaac Paredes fouling the first pitch off. Isaac grounded into a double play his first time up.
A lot of ground balls. I mean, it's an electric fastball with Burns, and you know it coming into this game. But to get it in the air, you got to get it out front. And by getting it out front is making contact out in front of home plate, a little further toward the pitcher. That's how you get the ball in the air.
That's popped up. Drifting back is Spencer Steer, the first baseman, in foul territory. Stays with it for out number 1. Paredes retired on a pop-up. Well, you were mentioning Christian Walker in his last at bat about how he has really improved against the fastball. That kind of goes back to what you were talking about yesterday with the different windows that he looks for in timing in getting ready to hit velocity.
So if he's going to look for a fastball, and say if he's going to look for it on the outer third of the plate, for the first couple of strikes or the first couple of pitches, he's going to look out of a certain window, and if it's a fastball spin, he's going to look maybe on the outer third of the plate so he can extend his arms and drive it. But if it's a breaking ball like that slider that Burns just threw, if it starts outside, it's going to be a ball. So that would never be the window he would look for. If he's looking for a slider right now, it would have to start kind of up and in and end up kind of down the middle of the plate. That's the one he wants to drive. Again, a breaking ball, he takes it outside. That's not the pitch he's looking for. That's the wrong window. And Christian talks about the windows all the time.
Now he's in a hitter's count.
He's in a great count. This pitcher has to come in there. And he got off his best swing. That's all you can ask for, right? Get a good pitch to hit. And sometimes you're going to get under it. I mean, when the guy's throwing 100 miles per hour, it's not easy, but you give yourself a better chance if you're patient and waiting for the pitch you want. And it starts with that window.
This one lofted into right, sending Will Benson back a few steps, and he's under it and puts it away for the second out. Now a message from Buick GMC. Well, Walker retired, 2 outs. Yordan Alvarez still at first base. Burns making start number 8 on the season, and he's allowed 0, 1, or 2 runs in 7 of those. Excuse me, in 6 of his previous 7 starts. Only the Dodgers got him for more than 2 runs, and the Angels got him for more than 2 runs, and the Angels got him for 5 and 5 1/3 innings back on April the 10th. But everybody else, he has been tough to hit this year. As Cam takes one down, it's 2-0. Now Cam has himself in a hitter's count.
I'm thinking about coming into a game like this, and you know he's a prized possession, right? This pitcher was their second pick just 2 years ago. I don't think he's going to throw more than 95 pitches in a game, so work the counts. Get him out as early as possible. Mention how hard he is to hit. That's the best way to get him out of the game.
That Angels game was the only game where he didn't have at least 7 strikeouts. He does not have a strikeout yet today. He's had a few 2-strike counts, but has not yet put away an Astros hitter, which is kind of impressive. 3 2/3 the way.
Interesting.
And now he's got a 2-2 count. Ooh. And Cam's going to challenge this one. Cam is only 5 of 10 in challenges this year.
Strikes, the batter is challenging.
And he missed one yesterday for the Astros. Actually, he did not challenge yesterday. Now he's 5 for 11 in challenges.
Houston has 1 challenge remaining.
I think because of the way Trevino watched that reception behind the plate, Cam thought it had to be low.
Checks his swing on a pitch just off the plate. No swing, and it's 3-2. So Yordan will get a head start off first. Cam with a full count with 2 outs, and Zach Cole on deck if Cam reaches. There is the first strikeout for Chase Burns as he gets Cam to end the 4th inning. Still no score between the Astros and the Reds.
Mets tomorrow at noon on Space City Home Network.
Bottom of the 4th inning, no score in Cincinnati. Spencer Arrighetti, 3 shutouts so far, an array of offerings. A lot of pitches that look the same coming out of his hand, but are spraying all over the place at home plate. The curveball fastball combination is unique.
Ground ball right side, 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 4th. Christian Walker will beat J.J. Bleday to the bag. And that'll bring up Ellie De La Cruz. He liked the way Spencer faced Ellie first time through.
I do. Typically, you're going to throw a lot of curveballs to De La Cruz. He was confused. All straight stuff with the first 3 pitches. Then he started to bend it. There's another straight one. And that's the finishing touch. It looks like that heater when you throw them 3 or 4 times. Makes it even more effective.
De La Cruz struck out One of 3 strikeouts for Arrighetti in the first pitch down, ball 1. Only 24 years old in his 4th year with the Reds. Ellie De La Cruz with 80 total bases coming in, tied for 2nd most in the National League. Jordan Alvarez leads the American League in total bases. That's a strike on the inner half. It's 1-1.
Not just a pull hitter, De La Cruz. You think guys like that will just sell out for the pull, but he goes the other way well too.
Both of his hits yesterday were the other way. That off the glove of a diving Jose Altuve. Good effort by 2, but De La Cruz, a 1-out base runner here in the 4th.
It's like he steers it in that direction. De La Cruz will run. He had the bad quad last year. Still played in 162 games, but he can run and he can steal.
See how much attention Spencer pays to De La Cruz, who leads the team with 8 steals this year. He has been caught 3 times. Sal Stewart at the plate. First pitch strike, 0-1.
I heard an interview with Sal Stewart talking about his approach at the plate. Now we're talking about a rookie right now, but he says he likes to feel like he has a bag of golf clubs, and he wants to have every club in the bag for every different type of an at bat. Whether do I need a pitching wedge? Do I need a 7-iron? Sometimes can I pull out my driver? But every at bat's different. Runner on first base with 1 out. What's my job? It's probably a 7-iron trying to go to the gap. You don't want to sell out in this situation, but sometimes he does pull out the driver. I thought that was a very interesting way for especially a young player to approach his ABs. He talks a lot with Manny Machado in the off seasons. Machado took him under his wing years ago in Miami.
Another Westminster Christian product, where Alex Rodriguez and others attended through the years. 0-2 pitch, and Spencer picks up a strikeout. 1-2-3, down goes Stewart. You saw his numbers against the fastball, and that didn't bother Spencer with his 4th K.
That's Christian Vasquez. I mean, that's really messing with the minds of some of these hitters, pitching backwards. Everybody's thinking about the breaking ball. That's why that fastball makes him look so silly. So late on that pitch, and this is a good fastball hitter.
So De La Cruz with the first Reds hit of the game, still at first base with 2 outs. And now Nathaniel Lowe taking a pitch in for ball 1.
We're going to see some shadows in about 30 minutes, Todd. Right now, everybody down the right field line and first base line are in shade here at the ballpark. Everybody else is in sunlight.
De La Cruz, a delayed steal, and the tag is made. What a play by Shoemake. Braden Shoemake picked that on a low throw and made the tag while he was running on the delayed steal by De La Cruz.
This is an unbelievably athletic play. Shoemake racing to that baseball, getting on a long hop. That wasn't a short hop. That's what made it so amazing, and still able to get the tag applied on the left shoulder of De La Cruz for a big 3rd out.
We are back for the 5th inning. Julia Morales has made her way back from the concession stand. She has walked in front of the Astros dugout with a tray full of food. She is heading down to her perch. Joe Espada eyeing up that tray full of food. And wow, what do we have here? Wait, Julia still doesn't have the microphone. Let her get settled.
She's too busy eating.
And now here she is. What do you have, Julia?
I have everything. What a walk that was. I'll never live that down. Okay, we've got GLT. So you've got Geta, lettuce and tomato. The Geta nachos. And then the cinnamon donut, banana pudding parfait. Yumminess.
Wait, what?
For dessert.
Oh, so that's not Geta related.
That's not Geta.
I think I skipped option C.
Wow, that's banana parfait?
This thing, yeah. I obviously don't have any hands. They gave me a tray, though. Good hospitality here.
Were you getting some people trying to steal the food from you on the way through past the
Yeah, and people trying to throw sunflower seeds in my food.
Oh man.
See,
that's mixed with the Geta?
Some.
Seeds with the Geta doesn't sound good.
This one chopped foul. Well, you'll have to try it and let us know.
Will do.
And then if it's a good luck charm, maybe the Astros will get a run.
$100 if you eat the whole plate.
How much?
$100 if you eat all 3 of those.
She's eating as you speak, so she's not going to respond.
Good, because I didn't have $100.
Who was supposed to give it to her, B?
I was going to raid your wallet.
Bryce Matthews, the batter, with an 0-1 count. We did find out how much we had in our wallets last night because we had a mentalist on hand who put on a show after the Reds and Astros first game of the series.
Seen him on HBO on Hard Knocks, and it's pretty impressive. You've seen it probably on NFL Today or whatever shows before the Texans play their games, but this guy can blow your mind.
Oz Perlman.
Oz Perlman, that was his name. Yeah, we sat up here for what, hour and a half after the game watching him dazzle these Reds fans. It was about 24,000 people. I think most everybody stayed for that.
Reds players were part of the show too. There's a ground out by Matthews for the second out.
We found out. So it's unbelievable some of the things that he's coming up with, which one of them he asked Cincinnati Reds player, who was your first kiss with and what grade it was, and he was able to nail the name and the grade. And he's never met him before in his life. How does that happen?
TJ Antone was stunned.
Yeah, that was entertaining. You never see a non-musical type of concert after a game, but that was good.
And then they did fireworks after that. Quite a show here on a Friday night. 0-1 pitch is off the plate. Braden Shoemake wasn't even sure Ellie De La Cruz was running to end the bottom half of the last inning, and then he, after reacting late, made a great play. This ball drilled deep to right field. All the way back is Benson. That ball's gone. Braden Shoemake with his 3rd home run as an Astro. And it's 1-0 here in the 5th.
Shoemake takes care of it on a changeup, the 3rd best pitch of Chase Burns, and made him pay for it. Hit a fastball off of Shohei Ohtani just a few days ago into the Landry's Crawford boxes. This time the changeup goes down and gets it, and the Astros take the lead on one swing of the bat.
Gives us the early lead and pick the stick.
That's right.
Shoemake with 3 home runs now as an Astro of his 7 hits. Acquired from the Yankees on April 19th, and he has made the most of his opportunities. Now Christian Vasquez with a 2-0 count.
Well, he makes them count. He's the king of first impressions, isn't he?
Yeah.
White Sox his first at bat. He hit a homer. The
First
Astros.
pitch.
Yeah, the Astros the second pitch.
Crazy. And now facing a guy who's been throwing up zeros for 4 2/3 innings, and he takes him out to right field. Shoemake hit his last home run against Shohei Ohtani, one he said he'll never forget.
Pitchers get sick when they get beat on their 3rd best pitch in a scoreless game. I mean, that's a tough one to go back into the dugout and explain. It's like, why are we throwing a changeup?
And then right after that, a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
So this week on Astros Bases Loaded, Sparky Jeremy Pena will tell Julia about his surprise marriage proposal. Then Christian Walker tells us what's working for him at the plate, some that you've documented earlier today. And the guys give their moms a surprise call ahead of Mother's Day. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded. That's tonight after the postgame show.
I'd like to see that. Players giving their moms a call.
Yeah, Julia had them FaceTime their moms over the course of the week.
A few of them are here.
That's right.
Zach Cole's mom's here. I think the DeCenzo's made it in town today. Who else we have from Ohio? AJ Blueball's parents.
Yep. There you see Burns first, second, third time through the order. He's about to finish second time through the order.
That's good news.
And that is usually when hitters have gotten to him this season, his 3rd time through.
I would doubt very seriously if Cincinnati, when he was coming up through the minors, and I know it was a very short time, had him go very deep into any of these games. Everybody's getting taken care of these days. They want these pitchers to be healthy by the time they get here.
13 career starts in the minors, 66 innings. So About 5 innings per start.
That was a good idea by Altuve.
Showing bunt.
Not even showing bunt. Maybe it brings in Sal Stewart. Sal Stewart mostly a first baseman. But try to get on base for Jordan. I think that's where the Astros are right now. Try to give Jordan as many chances as he can to give you a big 3-run homer.
So since that home run that you said pitchers hate so much with the third pitch being hit out, 6 straight balls, that's a home run.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. So why did I throw that pitch?
And he doesn't throw many changeups.
No. How many has he thrown today? Less than 5, I know.
De La Cruz goes to second on the fielder's choice, but the Astros out in front.
Well, he did this time. Braden Shoemake let him know, you're not going to gas me up. You're going to throw something a little bit slower. How about this golf shot? It's time now for Astros Trivia, and it's powered by Reliant. Here we go. This El Paso Hall of Famer was drafted by the Reds, but hit his only home run with the Astros. I might know this one.
Wait, so he's in the El Paso Hall of Fame?
El Paso Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So he's a Texan.
Is this your question?
It might be.
Well, then you definitely know the answer.
I definitely know the answer.
Okay. Well, there you go. Tough one for the fans at home. A Steve Sparks driven trivia question. We're going to check on Julia during the course of the bottom of the 5th, see how she's doing. And the Astros, by the way, did get a run while Julia's been trying to get a.
It's the rally getter.
It's the rally getter run. Well, one pitch to Nathaniel Lowe is off the plate. It's 1-1, so we may have to continue this getter consumption the next time the Astros bat in the 6th.
A couple of back-to-back changeups to Lowe. Remember what we talked about yesterday. When your team scores a run, typically you don't want to throw a fastball first pitch of an inning that next inning, because you don't want that other team to ambush the fastball and hit a double and get the momentum back on their side.
You had an interesting thought in the break about why Shoemake may have seen a changeup there 1-1. Why? And you don't have a ton of at-bats to go off of, but why do you think maybe Burns may have thrown that changeup?
Yeah, you do your advanced scouting, and teams try to put it together with whatever they have. There it is, pitching them backwards low. Finally goes down on strikes. That was a heater to finish him off. But Shoemake, because he hit that home run off of a 99-mile-per-hour fastball off of Shohei Ohtani, got the changeup. That was the scouting report. And Shoemake was able to pull that one into the seats to give the Astros the lead.
So maybe previous home run is part of their scouting report. Hey, he could get that, even though it was opposite field into the Crawford boxes. Maybe that did influence.
He also hit a home run this year off of Fernando Cruz, who throws hard. He's a Yankees reliever off of a fastball. So that's the scouting report right now.
Spencer Steer facing Spencer Arrighetti, and he lines one into left field for just the second hit allowed by Arrighetti. Ellie De La Cruz had the other one last inning. They have both come with 1 out. Steer, a 1-out base runner here in the 5th. Now a word from Dairy Queen.
Treat yourself to a summertime reward at DQ with our new breakfast treat collection.
Runner on, 1 out, and Will Benson, the batter. He walked his first time up. Spencer now has allowed 3 base runners today, 2 base hits and 1 walk. He has struck out 5. Runner goes, and the throw by Vasquez bounces in there, picked by Shoemake, but in with his second steal of the year is Spencer Steer.
Bryce Matthews charging in from center field, knowing how important it would be if that ball got by Shoemake. And that was a tough pick. Shoemake once again on that long hop from Vasquez. But look at Matthews coming in from center field to back up that play so the runner can't get to third with less than 2 outs. That's heads up play. That's a former infielder.
Pitch just in off the plate. It's 2-0 to Benson. Benson, a first rounder for the Reds back in 2016, now in his 4th year in Cincinnati.
Terry Francona knows a little bit about Benson, doesn't he? He had him with Cleveland too.
That's right. Guardians' 14th overall pick in the 2016 draft, and now it's 2-1.
Benson was in the lineup, I think it was 4 years ago with Cleveland when Francona was there. He was batting 8th. Batting 9th was Austin Hedges. And I went into Francona's office. I said, "You have Benson and Hedges batting back-to-back at the bottom of your lineup on purpose?" He said, "Get out of my office." I said, "They're smoking. Why aren't they higher?" He said, "Security. Get him out of here." But Benson and Hedges, have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't. But now that you mention it, I do remember those guys batting at the bottom of the lineup, and I also understand why Terry would want you out of his office.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, or the booth. 3-1 the count to Spencer from Spencer Arrighetti. There's a good pitch, a changeup on 3-1.
That's a money pitch. You think about a 1-0 game, being able to execute a 3-1 changeup, and Benson sold out for the fastball.
Just missed inside. That'll be the second walk for Spencer Arrighetti, both to Will Benson. And there's 2 runners on with 1 out.
The outfield arms are presented by Lone Star College. Right now, third base coach will scan the outfield for the Astros. Who can I run on? Definitely not Cam Smith. That's the red light. Matthews and Cole. Those guys both are pretty good throwers. That's the yellow light, though. Everybody's playing pretty deep right here, trying to take away the doubles. And it's really tough for the center fielder to throw out anybody at home plate to begin with. That's why Matthews is yellow.
First and second, 1 out. Trevino, who bunted his first time up, goes after this one and fouls it away.
Trevino going to Corpus Christi Hooks games growing up.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's where he grew up. Watched a lot of the Astros players before they got to the big leagues.
This one to right. Cam Smith drifting back on it. And he dropped it. Drops the fly ball. Being held at third base is Spencer Steer. That is a big mistake by Cam, and a very unusual mistake. Cam pretty sure-handed, but just simply dropped that fly ball off the bat of Trevino.
Yeah, that's all it was. I don't think he was trying to be too quick or anything to try to spin around and make a great throw. It was going to be an obvious tack from second to third. And maybe that ball going into the shadows distracted him just enough to take his eye off the ball.
So now bases loaded with the error and 1 out. 9-hitter Matt McLean takes the first pitch down for ball 1.
So we saw Burrows with the bases loaded in yesterday's ball game make big pitches. It was bases loaded and 1 out. Now it's Spencer Arrighetti's turn with the infield a little bit further back than halfway.
Line drive, base hit, scoring 1 run, being waved around is Will Benson. The throw by Cole is a little bit late. It gets by. That'll allow both runners to advance. 2 RBI single and an error to allow an extra 90 feet. And there have been 2 errors in this inning, and now the Reds lead 2-1.
There's a sweeper, got a lot of the plate. McLean setting on off-speed pitch. He's able to hook it. We mentioned Cole playing deep out in left field. Didn't have much of a chance to get the runner from second base. And now Josh Miller's out of the dugout.
Single walk, error, single in this inning. 4 consecutive Reds reach, and now the Reds have their first lead of the series, 2-1.
It's not much of a message right here. It's not to be predictable, I would say, is make sure you stay with your fastball some. More than anything else, you just want to give Arrighetti a breather. A little emotional after giving up that hit. There was an error behind him. Just go out there and make sure he's relaxed enough to make good pitches against the top of the lineup.
TJ Friedel has lined out and struck out. The Astros bring the infield in tight. And with Trevino, the runner at third base, you only have to be in as close as you feel like you need to be to throw out Trevino at home plate. The Astros are in on the grass. As that's fouled back, it's 0-1.
That may have been part of the conversation to jam him. Don't let him extend his arms. Yeah, he's trying to get the ball in the air. That's his job as a hitter, trying to plate another run.
It's off the plate, 1-1. Astros scored a run in the top half of the fifth on a Braden Shoemake home run, and the Reds answer with 2 in the bottom half of the inning.
Okay. Man on deck is hit well against Arrighetti in his career. This is an important pitch to get back into the count.
Try to catch the outside corner with the curveball, didn't quite get there. Now the count's 3-1 on Friedel.
There's a long look in for Arrighetti, thinking that Vasquez may have questioned or appealed that last pitch, but it was outside. He's got to stick with his best pitch. Every once in a while you'll peek out of the corner of your eye at the man on deck, and he knows it's Bleday. De La Cruz to follow. Take a big deep breath and make a good pitch.
Just missed the outside corner. Couple of close takes by Friedel with 2 strikes, and he draws a walk.
When you think back to last night, Mike Burrows getting 7 innings for the Astros. They've got a bullpen that's pretty well rested. Bluebaugh and Van Wy threw 1 inning apiece, so he's got options. Joe Espada.
Now J.J. Bleday has flied out and grounded out today. Bases loaded and 1 out. Pops this one up. Shallow center. Bryce Matthews coming in. Trevino does not run well. He is not going to try and score. Good throw by Bryce just to the first base side, but I don't think Trevino would have been able to score on that fly ball.
Oh, what a beautiful play by Bryce Matthews. Staying behind the baseball as long as he could so he could get momentum on this throw. His textbook center field play. And to be able to keep the runner on third base from center field is exactly what Arrighetti needed.
Now Ellie De La Cruz, second on the team in RBIs. De La Cruz has struck out and singled today. 8th batter of the inning for the Reds. Spencer trying to strand the bases loaded. Reds with an extra out to play with in this inning with the error by Cam Smith. Pitch down and in, 2-0 to De La Cruz.
Can't give in. Even if you walk him, Todd, it's better than giving in to a pitcher that's this dangerous. Even if you walk him. So you're pitching to the corners the whole way through.
Off the end of the bat, down for a hit. 1 run scores. Around third comes McClain. The throw by Cole's on the money. Out at home plate. Zach Cole threw a strike to end the inning. Reds score 3 in the inning. A couple of errors in the mix, but a great throw by Zach to end the 5th. Third base is Jose Caballero. Houston Astros baseball on SCHN is presented by Champion Energy. Switch to Champion Energy for no surprise charges and no hidden fees. Champion, it's time for some new energy. And by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. The Star Wars night here at Great American Ballpark as the Astros now trail 3-1. What a throw by Zach Cole to end the bottom half of the 5th inning on the RBI base hit by Ellie De La Cruz.
Was that 100 miles per hour, 99.9 miles per hour, and a perfect strike, no bounce to get that trail runner.
First batter to face Burns here in the 6th inning is Yordan Alvarez. Burns has only walked 2. And both walks, actually he's walked 3 now. 2 of the 3 walks have been to Yordan Alvarez, who sees a first pitch off the plate, 1-0. Next one catches the outside edge. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 of the runs last inning were unearned runs with that error in the mix, but it's a 3-1 lead nonetheless for the Reds. That ball hammered to right field. That is down into the wall. Yordan's going to have to hustle to get to second because that ball was hit so hard. He's helped out by the fact that Will Benson didn't field it cleanly, and he's going to end up on second base with double number 10 on the year, tying Altuve for the team lead.
Reached all 3 times now. A pair of walks. They showed him a lot of respect the first 2 times up. Finally got a pitch to handle. He was able to turn on it. The Astros trying to answer here in the 6th.
Man, does he hit the ball hard.
Every time.
On base 3 times yesterday. On base 3 more times today. Actually, he was on base twice yesterday. It was Shea Whitcomb who had the at-bat in his batting spot the final time. Here's Paredes looking for his first hit.
We're about 5-10 minutes away from the Shadows to cross home plate, so that'll make a difference.
Helping out.
Helping the pitcher. Ball going from light to dark for the hitter. So we'll see if that makes much of a difference. The folks in right field, though, it's the sun deck and the moon deck at Great American Ballpark. That's kind of a throwback from Crosley Field. They had the sun deck, moon deck in right field at that ballpark. And as you would imagine, there's nothing overhead, nothing covering anybody in those bleachers. So when it's sunny, you're going to need your sunscreen. And when it's nighttime, of course, it's a moon deck.
2-1 pitch. Isak got under it into left center field. Shielding his eyes from the sun is TJ Friedel. And he puts it away for the first out.
Crosley Field, where they had the sun deck, moon deck, was built in 1912. And all the way until Riverfront Stadium opened in the middle of the 1970 season.
We haven't heard from Julie. I assume she's still trying to.
I'm tapped out.
You tried the trio of food items?
Yeah. No, it was good. The GLT had horseradish on it, so that was a nice surprise. Hello. They're big in their sauces here, I learned, because the nachos has some kind of sauce. But the double plate donut parfait, TK, it's crazy.
So the ghetto was solid, huh?
Yeah.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up. It's like sausage. Yeah. It's like what everyone told me.
No horseradish on the parfait?
No. But that has a Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal in there.
Wow.
Vanilla wafers in there. 12 cinnamon sugar mini donuts.
So these are for 9-year-olds.
This one popped up on the infield. Shadows may play a little bit of an issue here, but staying with it is Spencer Steer for the second out.
How much did you eat of that?
Not much. I got to fit in a dress for the
You got an occasion
fashion show on Friday.
T-minus 6 days.
Not that I'm counting.
Till you can eat again.
I miss carbs. But I allowed myself to have a bite of these, but just a few bites.
Cam Smith with a foul at the plate. Foul tip caught by Trevino. It's 0-1.
I heard horseradish is a cheat code. It's a good way to curb your appetite.
Now Cam down on the count 0-2.
All right.
Are you just making stuff up on the fly?
Yeah, he is.
Because our producer Carl Patterson looked up your story about the blisters and the Rodeo?
The rodeo cream?
Yeah, he couldn't find it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a true story. Stan's rodeo cream, right?
Oh, maybe he plugged in the wrong name. He might have had the wrong name, so now he'll have to look it up under Stan's rodeo cream.
Stan's rodeo cream.
1-2 the count.
Former trainer of the Dodgers who.
But the horseradish he made up, that was legitimate.
Yeah, I made that up.
Okay. 1-2 the Cam. And he goes down on strikes. Cam has 2 strikeouts today, the only 2 for Chase Burns. Not a lot of strikeouts, but Burns leads 3-1 after 5.5.
Welcome your newest little fan to the Astros family with the Astros Rookies Club presented by Houston Methodist. This program designed for newborns includes a bib, swaddle blanket, milestone markers, and an Astros birth certificate. Join now at astros.com/rookies club. Take care.
All right, Julia, bottom of the 6th inning, Reds with a 3-1 lead. Sal Stewart leads off against Spencer Arrighetti. And the first pitch up for ball 1. Spencer has thrown 73 pitches, allowed 3 runs, all in the 5th inning. One of them was earned, 2 unearned. So far, Spencer's allowed 4 hits. He's also walked 3. A couple of errors last inning did not help his cause. This pitch off the plate, but Sal Stewart is going to challenge. It looked off the plate. It was called a strike.
The batter is challenging.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Sal Stewart is 5 for 9 in challenges this year. Now he's 6 for 10.
Close overturned to a ball. Cincinnati has 2 challenges remaining.
So it's a 2-0 count on Stewart. How far do those shadows need to get out there to really help out the pitcher?
I think halfway.
Yeah.
I think right now it's just across home plate. Once it gets halfway, it's almost like the ball disappears quickly before you can pick it back up, and maybe sometimes that's too late.
That one's fouled back into the upper deck. It's 2-2.
Arrighetti pretty emotional after that last inning coming off the field. Not happy with himself, I'm sure. Some of those pitches he left out over the plate. But you give up a couple of hits, the team makes a couple of errors behind you. You want to pick them up. I mean, that's the attitude you should have. Pick up that player. Nobody feels worse than the guys playing behind you.
Into center field, off the mound. Sal Stewart with a leadoff hit here in the 6th inning. All in all the time is presented by Daly and Black. Saw a challenge in this inning by Sal Stewart. If you look at the Astros ABS challenges, Jose Altuve is tied for the 2nd most challenges in the major leagues. Isaac Paredes is 4 for 4 in challenges, tied for the most without a loss in the major leagues. And Altuve and Cam Smith at the bottom. Altuve is tied for the most wins, and Cam only 5 for 11 in challenges this year. Has been the Astros' least successful challenger.
Pretty good as a team, though. 4th best in the big leagues.
Yeah, 4th best in the big leagues, and the runs gained versus expected is tied for the best in the major leagues. So that has been solid for the Astros. I think they got off to a slow start, but it's been better as the season has progressed.
I think it's a matter of just talking through a lot of these situations, and probably the next day, probably the night after a game's not the best time to talk to players because it's pretty raw and emotional sometimes. Next day is always better.
I got to think it's a learning curve too there. You know, Cam's 5 for 11 right now. He's 23 years old. He never dealt with ABS in his first year in the big leagues last year. Just out of college, basically, from Florida State. So this is all new to him. And I think once he learns the zone a little bit better, his percentages should go up in theory. But he's challenged some pitches that have obviously not gone his way 6 of the 11 times.
Yeah. I think it's the timing more than anything. You like the guys to compete and want to get those counts in their favor. That's what they're trying to do to begin with.
2-2 the count to Nathaniel Lowe. He's grounded out and struck out. Fouls that one out of play. Lowe spent last year between the Washington Nationals and the Boston Red Sox. Previous 4 years to that with the Rangers. First 2 years of his career with Tampa Bay.
Always a good opposite field gap hitter. Likes to go to left center. See Arrighetti throwing fastballs inside, trying to throw that breaking ball to the back foot.
Astros have their bullpen going here with Spencer at 84 pitches. He really had to work hard last inning, throwing 27 of his 73 in the fifth. And it's Enyel De Los Santos warming.
It's balk. Has a balk. His leg twitched before he turned around to throw that baseball, and you can't do that. You got to stay stationary, and he knew it.
So Sal Stewart moves to second on the balk.
Got to stay still. You see that little twitch? He knew it right away.
Low in pull mode here, trying to get the runner to third. Grounds one foul.
So the sharpness of Arrighetti's pitches in the last few batters has waned. So you see that. You see that in the dugout. Might be pretty close to getting him.
Little looper in the left coming on Zach Cole. He'll make a catch and check the runner back to second base. Zach Cole, a good running catch for out number one. Sparky, we have not seen the bullpen as rested quite to this level as we have seen in a long time. A lot of blank squares leading up to today's game.
Well, for such a long time, it was start after start after start. We saw so many of the Astros pitchers pitch 2+ innings, and now you're starting to get some guys some rest, and that's how you start to win games. You get guys more rested coming into the games, and you expect better results, and that's what'll happen. Mike Burrows with 7 innings of shutout baseball yesterday. Saw a great game by Peter Lambert just before that.
Saw on the bottom of that grid, Bennett Sousa placed on the IL today. A little elbow inflammation for Sousa. Jaden Murray becomes that last guy in the bullpen, if you will, or the bottom of the list, since he's the newest addition taking over Sousa's spot on the roster.
And you feel pretty good. If you have a lead, you've got some guys that you're happy to bring into the games and lock it down.
Now, part of that grid is going to come into play tomorrow, because the Astros have not announced the starter for tomorrow.
It's going to be one of those relievers. I think Kaiwei Tang is the most likely. We'll see, though.
Runner goes, the pitch is up and in. The throw on the money, but safe. Isaac Paredes says we might want to look at this. It was a great throw by Vasquez. For now, Sal Stewart picks up his 8th steal of the year after not stealing any bases his first season.
Jeremy Rehak, the third base umpire. The Astros will not challenge that one, and they're going to bring the infielders in now. There's one out, and Arrighetti needs a grounder right at one of his infielders.
Ooh, just got the foot in.
They don't have very long to see if they need to appeal or not, and I think this Astros crew is the best in the big leagues as far as their replay challenges.
That's well off the plate, 3-0. You mentioned the sharpness is waning, and you're starting to see Spencer fall behind some hitters here.
Yep. You see the arm drop a little bit. You see the front side fly open just a hair. It's those little nuances that let you know that he's just about at the end.
There's a strike. Spencer Steer singled as part of that 3-run fifth. He got the train rolling. What turned out to be 5 consecutive hitters to reach. 2 hits, 2 walks, and an error. Didn't mean to swing. That's a foul ball, and the count's full.
Got a break there. Arm side misses are usually a sign of a stamina issue. See that ball run inside on Steer. He got a lucky strike. Can he put him away? Easiest pitch when you get tired to get back to the plate is the breaking ball.
There it is, breaking ball, but it was fouled just enough to stay alive in and out of the glove of Christian Vasquez.
Probably his last pitch.
She never got to his glove off the mask. Another 3-2 pitch coming, trying to battle back from a 3-0 count. And a line drive caught by Shoemake. Infield in, and Shoemake had to have quick reflexes to make that play for the second out of the inning. Well, Joe Espada seeing the same signs you saw, but first a look at this play.
To the backhand, right off the bat, Arrighetti saying, "Oh no!" And then he sees Shoemake make the catch and says, "Yes."
Arrighetti will leave after 5 2/3 innings. So far 3 runs, 1 earned, and he will leave with a runner on third base and 2 outs. Daniel De Los Santos will be on when we come back.
Our next telecast is presented by Kaplan Sinus Relief. It's a series finale. It happens right here in Cincinnati. Our coverage will begin at 12 p.m. Central Time. Andrew Abbott will be on the mound for the Reds. Still TBD for the Houston Astros. Should know something post-game. Sparky.
Trying to keep it close, Julia. Astros trail by 2, bring in Daniel De Los Santos, the 30-year-old. A lot of different roles for De Los Santos, but it's usually with somebody on base, and there's a runner on third base right now. Four-seam fastball, slider, and a changeup, mid-90s on the heater with a deceptive delivery. You see the high ERA right there for De Los Santos. Usually early in the season, it's caused by 1 or 2 outings. He's a good one.
De Los Santos to face Will Benson here. Runner on third and 2 outs in a 2-run game. First pitch swinging 0-1 as Benson misses the changeup. Benson walked twice today against Spencer Arrighetti. Spencer would walk 3 in his 5 2/3. Reds also with 5 hits today. Right there with the back-to-back changeups, it's 0-2.
But he was off stride both times on the changeup. If you throw a fastball here, make sure it's not a strike. A little more of the plate that he wanted. He wants to elevate that. You saw Vasquez flash the glove high. He would like it above the belt.
These guys have only matched up once in their career, and that time De Los Santos threw him 7 fastballs. The 7th was hit for a double. That's a called third strike. Stayed with a changeup on 3 of the 4 pitches to Benson in this at bat, and he picks up a strikeout to end the 6th.
What's on tap is presented by Lawnmower Blonde. The road numbers for the center fielder and right fielder. Cam Smith, Bryce Matthews, 2 players who were infielders most of their careers. So they're playing good defense. However, we're looking at their numbers on the road. The splits are very significant for them. Very, very good on the road. The 310 combined, 24 RBI, helping the club to some road wins. Continue that last night. Sparky, before we talk the pitcher, you have any theories on that?
Why the young guys are doing so well, I think a lot of it has to do, and Joe Espada was talking about it earlier today, is let them be themselves when they come into the clubhouse. I've never seen this like I have in the last 10 years with Houston, is letting the young guys be themselves and adapting so quickly. I think it's a great approach.
Zach DeZenzo is going to be called on as a pinch hitter for Zach Cole as the Reds go to a lefty out of their bullpen.
Senzo with the opposite field homer yesterday. And Brock Burke in the game now, the lefty who the Astros have seen a lot of the last 7 or 8 years, with the Rangers for a few years, then the Angels.
his entire career. He's been in the AL West prior to this season with the Reds, as DeZenzo goes down on 3 pitches for the first out of the 7th.
A lot of arm side movement. That pitch running away from Zach. The fastball better than 95, so that's way above average. 96.2 on the fastball, and he throws a slider, a changeup, and a sinker, so he'll mix it up.
Bryce Matthews grounding out twice to second base against Chase Burns. Burns, the young right-hander for the Reds, ends up going 6 innings of 4-hit 1-run baseball today. He walked 3 and struck out just 2.
We're seeing more awkward swings with the shadows halfway in between the mound and home plate. Maybe the reason why Matthews tried to bunt one.
Yeah, this is that time where you said with the shadows being about halfway, they're a little more than halfway now. Kind of the danger zone. Not a lot of good looks from Will Benson against Enyel De Los Santos as he took some strikes. 1-1 pitch is lofted into left off the end of the bat. Coming in, J.J. Bleday makes the play for the second out. Now a word from Mac Haik Chevrolet.
Hit a home run with Mac Haik Chevy, Houston's #1 Chevy dealer at I-10 and Kirkwood or MacHaikChevy.com.
Well, Braden Shoemake will get an at-bat, lefty on lefty. Shoemake with a home run today, accounting for the Astros' lone run. That came against Chase Burns in the 5th inning. As he fouls this one back to the screen, 0-1. Shoemake just 5 at-bats this year against lefties. He's 1 for 5 with a strikeout. Puts this one in play on the right side. Matt McLain is there. That's a smooth 1-2-3 inning for Brock Burke out of the Reds bullpen. 7th inning stretch time here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Time for us to head back to Houston and check in with LC and Bogey in our Rooms to Go lounge.
Thanks, TK. Lauren Callender here with Brian Bogusevic hanging out in the Rooms to Go lounge. Spencer looked good through 4 innings of baseball here today. Things unraveled there in the 5th, and now the boys have some work to do.
It was a tough 5th inning, and the defense didn't really help Spencer out a whole lot in that inning. But one bad inning, one big mistake shouldn't be enough to beat this team, not the way the offense scores runs. And this game's far from over. It's a Reds bullpen that has really struggled during their 8-game losing streak.
All right, we'll get you back up to TK and Sparky after the break.
Time to reveal the winner of today's Chevy Stroh Poll. We asked you in that Big Red Machine era, which member is that team's greatest player? And Pete Rose wins with 56% of the vote. Johnny Bench, 34%. Joe Morgan, 10%. Thanks to those who voted in today's Stroh Poll. Tough choices, but the Hit King wins it with 56%.
I got a story about Pete Rose. You know, he grew up just 2 miles from where we're sitting right now.
Yep.
And his dad was one of the best athletes of all time in Cincinnati. A great football player.
Ball set in the air to relatively deep right center, but playable for Cam Smith, who makes the catch for the first out. Trevino, 1 pitch and 1 out.
So Pete's well into his career, about 5 or 6 years in, and he's coming off back-to-back batting title championships in '68 and '69. And in 1970, he came to the ballpark. And his dad came to all of his games, but he was a banker, so he'd never stay after the game because he had to get to work the next day. And he was at Pete's car in the parking lot after the game. And Pete said, well, Pete was worried when he saw his dad. He said, hey, is mom all right? He said, yeah, your mom's fine. He said, what'd you do on that 3rd at bat when you grounded to second base? Did you run hard to first base? And Pete kind of thought back and he said, no, mind you, he just won 2 back-to-back titles.
Yep.
He said, no, you know what? I should have driven that pitch, and I may have been a little frustrated, so I probably didn't run hard. And his dad looked at him. He said, don't ever embarrass me in my city again, and walked away. And he never did.
Wow.
Ran hard the rest of his career.
Good story.
Yeah.
Love it. Quite a group of Big Red Machine stars through the years. Pete Rose. Hey, by the way, our own Bill Brown has written a book because it's the 50-year anniversary of that '76 baseball season.
Really?
He has written another book. He's written more than one. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. De Los Santos has been good out of the pen. Enyel with 2 strikeouts of the 3 batters he has faced as he gets Matt McLain here. The book is titled The Cincinnati Reds of the 1970s, A Dynasty for the Ages. A lot of people who only know Brownie as an Astros broadcaster forget that he was here for a number of years doing Reds games, including that incredible 76 Big Red Machine.
Big Red Machine, Bill Brown. I'd love to talk to Bill about those players and those stories about that team. Bill, one of the best, most low-key broadcasters I've ever known, but him right in the middle of that stuff was perfect.
Pitching change here, Okert on in the 7th.
Bring on the sunshine, sparkles, and extra big bear hugs for Care Bears night this Tuesday. Be sure to purchase your Care Bears bobblehead add-on while supplies last at astros.com/carebears. Stephen Okert into the ball game now for the Astros. 3-run lead for Cincinnati. Nobody on base. 2 away. Okert, the 34-year-old. A lot of action last year. 68 games for Joe Espada. 3.01 ERA. This year a little higher, but extra reliable with that slider.
Dane Myers is on as a pinch hitter. Myers has been used a lot as a pinch hitter this year for Terry Francona, as he is hitting here for TJ Friedel with 2 outs and nobody on. That ball popped high in the air, backing up Braden Shoemake, coming on Bryce Matthews and Zach Cole. It's Matthews who takes charge and put it away for the final out of the inning. Turns out to be a 1-2-3 inning with 3 different pitchers. Astros down 2.
The player to watch is presented by Jack in the Box. Christian Vasquez. We saw him get a hold of one last night, but when he makes a start, especially on the road, he produces really well. 393 average, a good OPS. Good at bats from the veteran. That veteran presence coming through huge right now. He's getting more playing time with Yainer Diaz, dealing with an injury. Joe said that, though. We got him late in spring. That was a big reason why we wanted that experience. He knew his role coming in. Now we're going to lean on him a little bit more, but they will monitor the workload for Vasquez again.
Here he is leading off the 8th inning, Julia, with the Astros down 3-1, and Vasquez facing a new pitcher for the Reds. That's the right-hander Graham Ashcraft, as this ball's popped foul and out of play.
Unique delivery. We see a lot of guys 3/4 these days, but not Ashcraft. He's right over the top. Just 2 pitches, though. It's either the cut fastball or the slider. Everything moving away from the right-handed hitter, but one's about 8 or 9 miles per hour harder than the other. Of course, the cutter coming in a little faster at 98 miles per hour. That's hard for a cutter. Type of pitcher you don't want to try to pull, I would think.
Goes the other way with that foul ball. It's 1-2. He pitched on Wednesday, did Ashcraft. Had a 6-5 lead in the bottom half of the 10th inning at Wrigley, and would give up 2 runs to the Cubs, as the Cubs would be in the midst of 3 consecutive walk-offs against the Reds in that series at Wrigley. That was also the first day that the Reds were without their closer, as Emilio Pagan went on the IL that day with a hamstring injury, his left hamstring strain. So this is the first time that the Reds, since that injury, have really had a chance with a lead in the 8th or 9th innings to try to close out a game. It'll be interesting to see how Terry Francona plays it here the final 6 outs.
Yeah, his eyeballs are on the guy on the mound right now, and right now it's important with Vasquez and Altuve for somebody to get on base, because Alvarez is batting 3rd this inning.
Reds bullpen has allowed a 7.64, excuse me, the Reds staff has allowed a 7.64 ERA during their 8-game losing streak, and a lot of that has been on the bullpen.
See if the Astros can take advantage of it. I like the idea of having Vasquez bat 9th because his on-base percentage is good for situations just like this.
Down on strikes here as Ashcraft picks up his first strikeout on the first batter he sees.
Finally took a little bit off. It's time to answer our trivia question, and that's powered by Reliant. This El Paso Sports Hall of Famer was drafted by the Reds, but hit his only home run with the Astros. Todd Callis guesses who? Butch Henry.
Butch Henry.
Can you believe that?
Butch Henry hit a home run with the Astros.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's a kicker to it.
Go ahead.
The kicker is, now it's a pitcher hitting his only home run in the big leagues. It was an inside the Parker.
Really?
Yeah. Can you believe that? Butch Henry, the pitcher, his only homer was an opposite field inside the Parker.
drafted out of Eastwood High School in El Paso by the Reds in the '87 draft.
Yeah, he was traded to the Astros along with 2 other minor leaguers for Bill Doran. Bill Doran going from the Astros to Cincinnati. And that trade was made on the same day that the Astros acquired Jeff Bagwell.
Pitch is rolled a strike. The batter's challenging.
Jose Altuve, 7 of 11 in challenges this year. Challenging that pitch, he felt like it was below the zone, and he's
Calls
right.
overturns 3-0. Houston has 1 challenge remaining.
He now has a major league leading 8 overturned calls this year.
And he knows how important it is to get on base before Jordan. That's why he challenged.
Now it's a 3-0 count, and there's a strike.
He's probably going to take another pitch, Todd. We see him in this role be much more selective.
Altuve gets on. Jordan would be in the tying run at the plate. Jordan has been on base 3 times today with a couple of walks and a double. He was selective, and that pitch catches the plate on a 99-mile-an-hour cutter. Altuve hits it high in the air, pretty deep to center field, sending the center fielder Myers all the way back near the wall, and he'll make a jumping catch right in front of the wall. Myers makes that play for out number 2.
Well, he gave it a ride, and he saw a lot of pitches trying to get on base the entire way, but got a cookie on 3-2. And Myers with a good jump in center field to corral that one.
Ball was in the air a long time, allowed Dane Myers to get underneath that one. And now Jordan bats with the bases cleared and 2 outs. First pitch home, misses 1-0. So Ashcraft came back after being down in the count 3-0 to record out number 2. There's a strike. Counts 1-1. Ashcraft, the 3rd pitcher of the game for the Reds. Chase Burns 6 innings, Brock Burke an inning, and now Ashcraft on in the 8th. Sliced foul. And it counts 2-2 on Jordan.
Jordan's so quiet at the plate. No quick movements. And that in of itself, it is a little intimidating. Rarely steps out of the batter's box.
Allows him to be a good 2-strike hitter. He has 21 2-strike hits this year, which is tied for the most in the major leagues.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of one of the best hitters. So when you're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Takes this one, and it's a called 3rd. Fooled by the slider. Graham Ashcraft pumped up as he goes 1, 2, 3 through the 8th, and it's a 3-1 Reds lead. Houston Astros baseball on SCHN is presented by Texas Children's. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Dr. Michael Kaplan, the sinus specialist at Kaplan Sinus Relief Center. Breathe well, live well. Steven Okert still out there in a 3-1 game. Reds lead as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning from the Great American Ballpark. Todd Callis alongside Steve Sparks filling in this series for Jeff Blum. Julian Morales down in the Camberwell by the Astros dugout. Okert has to face at least 2 batters this inning. J.J. Bleday, a left-hand hitter, then Ellie De La Cruz, a switch hitter. The Astros did have Brian Abreu warming up last half inning. Okert got a fly out of Dane Myers, the pinch hitter, to get out of the 7th inning. There's a strike, and the count's 1-1 on Bleday.
See, about 2/3 of the pitches thrown by Okert are sliders. And with 2 strikes, that's what he's shooting for, the slider to get below the bats. He's been leaving that a little elevated with 2 strikes. Last year, he was a workhorse.
All the runs in this game scoring in the 5th inning. A home run for the Astros shortstop Braden Shoemake. And 3 runs scored by the Reds in the bottom half of that inning. A ball hit pretty well to left. Zach DeZenzo shielding his eyes. It's a tough sun field, and he stays with it to make the catch. Zach battling the whole way, looking up into the sun, and he makes the play for out number 1.
Well, look at the shadow behind Zach DeCenzo. That'll let you know which way the sun is. And it's right behind him toward the fence as he shielded his eyes as long as he could. And I don't think he saw it until it was about 10 feet away from him. That's tough. Look at the shadow. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Now L.A. De La Cruz, the batter. He takes one down and in for ball 1. Yeah, Zach going with the sunglasses the whole way and still had trouble locating that ball as it was coming down.
Mm-hmm. De La Cruz batting from the right side now.
Grounds this one foul.
We might see Brian Abreu for Sal Stewart, who's on deck. And in the last game for Abreu, he looked as good as he has all season. It was the second of a back-to-back outings, and we started to see some signs of life.
Abreu is still warming, and he wouldn't be warming up unless he was going to come into this game, you would think. Okert, as we said, had to face at least 2 batters this inning. Got Blade, and now facing the switch hitting L.A. De La Cruz with a 2-1 count. Ground ball and 1 big hop, gloved by Isaac Paredes, and that is the 2nd out of the inning.
Here's the Allstate Good Hands replay. Maybe every once in a while, if you bring in one of your position players to finish a game, bring this guy in, the left fielder Zach Cole. How about a 100-mile-per-hour strike to home plate to gun down the trail runner? That was a bullet, one of the fastest we've seen in the StatCast era.
You know that throw he made earlier in the inning that got past the catcher Christian Vasquez? That actually was thrown at over 100 miles an hour, even though he didn't get the put out. That was the fastest throw by any outfielder in Astros history in the StatCast era, and then he followed it up with the 3rd hardest throw.
It's good stuff.
Zach DeZenzo is all smiles after making that catch, looking into the sun as he taps up Cam Smith and Bryce Matthews. Joe Espada waiting for Brian Abreu, and you said you saw some good stuff out of Abreu in his last outing.
I did, and it's about conviction, and it's about finishing your release, all of those things. But think about it, a little leaguer, when you tell a kid to quit aiming the baseball. And for me, what that means is you're decelerating when you release the ball because you're not really sure about where it's going, or your confidence isn't where it needs to be. That's the same thing with Abreu. He's been decelerating because he's not very confident. But that last game, we started to see some acceleration at the release point, and that's when you start to see the real Brian Abreu, who struck out more than 100 batters in each of the last 3 years.
And when he strikes out 100 or more for 3 years in a row, you know he's doing something right with tunneling that fastball and that slider. And at times this year, he's been relying more on one pitch or another as opposed to a good mix.
Why does Abreu get so much swing and miss? It's because his slider looks like his fastball coming out of his hand. It doesn't go up before it goes down. Right out of his hand, just like a fastball, it goes down. The spin, his fingers are on top of the baseball, and the low fastball carries through the zone when he's behind it. Right now, he's trying to stay as tall as he can on his backside so he can stay through these pitches. And right now, what we're looking for with Brian Abreu is somebody who's speeding up when they release the baseball.
And he has said he just wants to get to the point where he's not thinking about his mechanics while he's delivering on the mound. And that has been a trouble spot for him this year. So here he goes, 2 outs and nobody on in a 3-1 game, facing power hitting rookie Sal Stewart. who was 1 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch misses with the slider wide, 1-0. So other landing spots for Abreu. He had that 1-2 inning outing where the Astros needed him at the end of the Red Sox win for a series victory. But other landing spots have been lower leverage spots. So here's Joe Espada saying, all right, I'm building my confidence back in Brian Abreu. I'm going to pitch him here in a 2-run game in the bottom of the 8th inning.
It's kind of half and half too, because you only need 1 out and you got a little bit of a safety net, and I think that's the best way to inch him along.
Pitch misses in. 2-1 to Stewart.
Even at his best, every once in a while you would have to tell Brian Abreu, hey, when you give him the baseball as the manager, throw hard. Sometimes he forgets to. Pretty good stuff there. You know, believe it or not, a hitter can see when the wrist is wide, like a fastball and a slider, or when it's to the side and skinny for the breaking ball. For Abreu, he wants everything to look wide with his wrist, so that's what's going to fool the hitter more than anything else as far as tunneling pitches.
Into center field. Bryce Matthews going back, and he will reach up and make a play and back into the Toyota side and straight away center. Hit a long way by Stewart, but out number 3. Astros need at least 2 in the 9th.
Like online shopping for the first year from account opening.
Here's the Honda drive of the game. Astros pretty quiet offensively early on against their starter. Braden Shoemaker, though, got a hold of one in the 5th for a solo home run. Put the Astros on the board. Gave them a lead for the short time being. They would like to regain that lead, Sparky, right here in the 9th.
Well, they're going to go to the veteran, is 34-year-old out of Missouri State, Pierce Johnson. Terry Francona hasn't had many safe situations lately. Emilio Pagan, their normal closer, out. And with Pierce Johnson, he throws a lot of curveballs, 70% curveballs, so look for that pitch.
Astros need to get 1 runner on to bring the tying run to the plate. Johnson has not had a save opportunity in a Reds uniform. Starts the 9th with a strike to Paredes. Isak 0 for 3 today.
Starts with a base runner. That's what the Astros are looking for.
Paredes has reached in 12 straight games, has not reached yet today as that one misses wide. 1-1. Johnson pitched the 6th and 7th innings yesterday through 21 pitches in an inning and 2/3. Faced Christian Walker, Cam Smith, and Bryce Matthews in that inning. On the ground, new third baseman is Brian Hayes. He'll make the play for out number 1. Now a message from TXU Energy.
TXU Energy Ultimate Season Pass. 50% off energy charges during peak summer and winter, plus more months of savings.
All 4 runs in this game scored in the 5th inning. Solo home run by Braden Shoemaker, and then 3 runs, 2 of them unearned, scored in the bottom half of that inning by the Reds, and that's where we stand, 3-1 in the 9th. Christian Walker trying to get on base for the first time. He has grounded out, flied out, and popped up. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters have been held in check today. They are 0 for 10 so far for the Astros. That just off the plate, and a challenge by Jose Trevino.
Pitchers roll the ball. The catcher is challenging.
ABS powered by T-Mobile says it is a ball.
Ball is confirmed. Cincinnati has 1 challenge remaining.
Can't take him with you, though, can you?
Nope, might as well, right?
Christian Walker looking to get on base for the first time in this series.
Hits the ball hard to center field, backing up Myers, and he will make a leaping stab, and he runs it down for a catch and crashes into the wall. Walker smoked that ball to center, and Myers made the play for out number 2.
It's a big league play by the center fielder, coming into the game late for good reason. Look at that. That was extra bases.
So now it's up to Cam Smith to keep the game alive. Cam walked against Johnson yesterday. He goes after the first one here and fouls it back on the curveball. Reds with an 8-game losing streak had not lost 9 games in a row since the 2022 season. They're an out away from snapping that losing streak today. That one's wide, 1-1. Yesterday was all Astros in a 10-0 win. Today a low-scoring game in a hitter-friendly stadium. Cam taking that one down, 2-1.
Good discipline. DeCenzo's on deck. He went deep yesterday.
Got fouled off, 2-2 the count.
Great crowd on hand. They're on their feet. They're tired of losing.
Big Saturday crowd here in Cincinnati. Cam watches that one wide. Reds have not won a game this month. Their last win came on April 30th. Now it's 3-2. Slowly hit. Brian Hayes is there. He'll make the play to end the game. 1-2, 3 inning for Pierce Johnson, picking up his first save as a Red. Reds pitching sent down the last 12 Astros in this one, and they win the middle game of the series 3-1. All the runs scoring in the 5th inning today. The Reds take the middle game. We'll be back with our thoughts in a little while. Coming up next, it'll be the Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger. Lauren Callender and Brian Bogusevic are your hosts. Julia Morales helping out with interviews in the clubhouse. Post-game show.